Hi, everyone. Tony from Hack the Movies here. In X-Men Days of Future Past, we're finally at that film. We're going to talk about the film and the road cut and find out, is this X-Men film exemplary? Let's find out today on Hack the Movies. Thank you for picking the word, Monica.
You're welcome.
Monica, we're back talking about X-Men.
Yes, we are.
And today we have Frank.
Woo! This is exciting.
Frank, we're talking about a Marvel movie again.
Yeah.
We only ever did that once, me and you. I think it was Doctor Strange.
Was that the only Marvel movie we did?
I think that's the only one we did, Doctor Strange too. And that episode did pretty bad. You're on thin ice, Frank. You're on thin ice.
You better bring
your goddamn A game.
I didn't really brush up on my X-Men either, so...
Frank!
They're gonna be so mad at us.
He only calls me for DC movies. Jesus. I was a DC kid, all right?
No, Doctor Strange, it was doing okay, and then a bigger YouTube channel that our audience follows put their review out like an hour after ours.
That was it? No, same day?
Just murdered. Like, I saw the drop where it was like, oh, yeah, there's their review. That's when it debuted.
No, we tried to get ahead of that one, too. We were like, we
Yeah,
went that
we really
night to go
did.
see it. Next day, yeah, man.
Oh, man. You know,
Hope this
I should have
works.
got a better guess. I should have got someone more familiar with Sam Raimi, but I don't know anyone. Hi, Monica. So X-Men Days of Future Past.
That's cool.
Watch our Evil Dead episodes.
Big Sam Raimi fan?
Yes.
All right. Yeah. All right. I was wondering who he was talking about.
X-Men Days of Future Past, based off the comic, which I read today. Warning. If you buy the trade paperback of X-Men Days of Future Past, let it be known that they sandwich the two issues that tell the real story in between like 5 other unrelated goddamn stories.
They don't intertwine at all? There's no reason for
No,
them?
the only relevance is that this is right after Dark Phoenix and Kitty Pryde was introduced. So it's just a bunch of stories about Kitty Pryde's first adventures leading into Days of Future Past.
Well, then for you to get used to the
I
character.
already know who Kitty Pryde is. Okay? So I'm reading this morning and I'm like, okay, Days of Future Past, let me read it. Cool. And I'm just like, okay, the first issue is Cyclops telling the history of the X-Men and recapping Dark Phoenix. I was like, well, I didn't need that.
Well, I didn't buy Dark Phoenix, so why am I reading about it?
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, next issue. I'm like, this will lead into Days of Future Past. You know,
Of course.
I'm sure one of these stories will lead in.
Of course.
The next 2 issues is Doctor Strange has to save Nightcrawler because a witch sent him to Dante's Inferno.
That's kind of cool, though. I'd read that.
Yeah.
Is that bad?
So they're in Dante's Inferno and they're fighting demons and stuff. And I went,
How many pages of that, dude?
A lot.
Wait, how much of it is the actual Days of Future Past?
There's just 2 issues of Days of Future Past.
Okay, but
So what are
like,
we looking at, like 20 pages?
Here, all right, you know what? I'll do that. Hold on.
20 of the 50?
Yeah, hold on. Let me find it. Oh yeah, the other one. They hang out with the Canadian team, Alpha Flight, and they fight a snowman, I guess.
Oh,
the
really?
abominable snowman. The only thing in this
That was-
book that leads
I'd read
the
it.
only thing that leads in is that Blob gets out of prison and he shows up in the Days of Future Past story. That's the only
You
lead in.
obviously need it then. You need to read it.
Yeah, okay, hold on. And then I think the last issue is a demon shows up for Christmas and makes Kitty Pryde sad.
No.
Here is
I
the
mean, I'm
day.
actually really interested in all these side stories.
Here's the
now.
Days of Future Past story
Can I
in
borrow
the
that?
book. So I
All
lost
right. Yeah, I get it now.
I lost
see
like
it.
an hour this morning reading because I wanted to be fresh. And I'm like, when the fuck does the time travel start? What's going on
And you
here?
went to watch the movie. You're like, where's the abominable snowman?
I'm just like,
God damn it!
I'm thinking about it. I'm like, what did they use for the movie? Like, Nightcrawler's not even in that movie. Scott's not even in that movie. I guess the end. But yeah, I was just like, I wasted
Spoilers.
so much time. So I finally read the book.
Nice.
The
I'm
movie's
sorry.
very different. I probably could have just not read the book.
Well, you know, it's good to catch up on some reading.
Yes. But no, the
good.
comic is about the future, 2013.
Yeah.
Which is that when this movie came out? No, this is 2014.
When's the comic from? The 80s?
Yeah, like 1980 or early 80s.
Right.
So like Rogue's not in it. A bunch of other characters aren't in it. So yeah, Kitty Pryde is in the future, and a psychic sends her mind back in time to stop the assassination of Senator Kelly.
Right.
Because if he gets assassinated, the Sentinel program gets
Yeah.
released, and it takes over the America. The problem is, like, if the Sentinels decide to take over mutants in other countries, it will cause a nuclear war, and they're trying to avoid that because America's already fucked. They don't want the rest of the world to get destroyed. And yeah, that's the story.
Kitty Pryde doesn't have those powers that she uses in the movie.
No, I have a lot of questions about whatever that power was. So
Yeah, I was confused by that too.
yeah, they kind of wrote themselves into a little bit of a corner here. So First Class comes out, and it's really good. It gets people excited about X-Men again. Because X-Men 3 was a little excessive. And
I hear it's not that great.
X-Men Origins.
It's been years since I watched it. I probably only
X-Men
watched it
Origins
once.
Wolverine was probably the worst thing ever made. And if you're wondering why
You get Deadpool in there, though.
Huh?
You get Deadpool in that one, though.
Kind of. If you're wondering why we still haven't done the What is the Best Wolverine movie episode yet, we intended to have it out before this. And then one of our guests got arrested, so we had to delay it a little bit. So, he's out of jail now. We got to wait for him to show up.
You bailed him out.
Huh?
You bailed him out.
I threw a
He's
little
out.
bit of money.
Yeah.
I didn't pay
I
the
would have
whole
just left him in there for a little while.
I texted him.
Sorry, I'm just kidding.
The minute he got out,
you should have called me.
I literally texted him and said, "How was it?" And his first sentence was, "It was fun." So I'm like, "Oh, at least he had fun."
He's got
in there.
like face tattoos now.
Of all the people I know, him saying he enjoyed jail, I'd be like, yeah, that makes the most sense. Anyway, so we will be doing the Wolverines eventually, and I know, Frank, you're looking off camera. You're jealous of what I got prepared for that. Don't say what it is.
I feel like we should just bring it out.
No,
you can't bury the lead.
No.
You gotta
you
keep
gotta
them on the
tease
edge of
them
their
a little
seat.
bit. They really want to tune into that
There's
Wolverine
something
episode.
amazing
I don't
over
know.
there.
Tony, if you wear that, dude, it's gonna be showing a lot of skin.
Anyway, everyone always says we love Bryan Singer. In 2014, you were still kind of allowed to say that when they were making this. He came back after abandoning the series at 3, which was not smart. He went and did Superman Returns. Frank, we talked about Superman Returns.
We did. We dove into that one because Superman's very talkative in that.
Yeah, he says a lot.
A lot to say. A lot to say about that one.
He was going to do First Class, and then he let Matthew Vaughn do it because he went to do Jack the Giant Slayer.
Is that what he did instead? Wow.
Yeah, with Nicholas Hoult. He was in both of them.
Yeah. Lex Luthor.
Yes, he is. I guess the Jack the Giant Slayer franchise just didn't really go where he wanted it to go, so he came back to X-Men.
There's no multiverse with that one?
I
No,
was gonna say, was it supposed to be a franchise? Like what you're saying?
I don't know. But it was weird because X-Men First Class was fun. It was fresh. It was in the 60s where a lot of these characters originated.
Yeah.
So people thought they were just going to continue there with that team, and they went, nope, we're bringing all the old guys back. Ignore all that.
Well, I mean, it's a nice mesh to, it was definitely exciting. It got people hype again.
I was pumped, and they
So-
picked the right story for that to happen.
Yeah,
the Days of Future Past story.
I mean, look at the Avengers movies right now. Everyone's begging for the old characters to come back so that they can, love it again. So,
What, you're not content with Miss Marvel?
I am. I kind
That's the
of
one
am.
you pick.
I like
Out of
She-Hulk.
all of them, you're
Yeah.
like Miss Marvel.
Yeah, Miss Marvel. She's not doing it for you,
People
Frank?
just like legacy characters. All right, that's it.
Well, okay. Miss Marvel, maybe she's not doing it for you, but I mean, we all have a favorite Eternal. What's yours?
The one that not Jon Snow.
Is,
I don't think
Rob
he's
Snow?
one.
is that it? Is that an Eternal?
No, I don't think he is.
Oh, he's from Game of Thrones.
Was he in the movie?
He's
The
in
one that
movie.
runs really fast.
He's in the movie, but he's not an Eternal.
What are the Eternals?
He was in the movie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jon Snow and his
Was
brother.
he like a big character?
Rob Stark was in it too.
He's not like a.
He's not an Eternal.
Oh,
No,
okay.
he dates.
What is his character in
The
that?
Oh, is he in that
Ooh,
horrible
hurt.
Blade teaser at the end?
Yes.
And we're
that's it.
filming.
But he's dating the one Eternal.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
It's been
I
a
don't
while
know
since
their
I've
names.
seen that movie.
We're
yeah.
filming this the day they announced that they have yet again got rid of another Blade director.
I know,
That
I
movie's
saw.
not coming out.
I saw.
This is like the Flash Part 2. It's going to be a while.
It's so upsetting.
Well, he couldn't figure out his face. I'm surprised I didn't recognize Jon Snow in that. So I didn't watch Game of Thrones, but when I had long hair and
Really?
it was airing,
Whoa.
people would say that I look like a ugly Jon Snow or a fat Jon
Well,
Snow
you
all the time.
Kate and I made you dress up as Jon Snow before. Remember?
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah. We did like a video series of like geeky pickup lines, and we made him dress up
Dress
as
as Jon
Jon
Snow.
Snow.
I forgot I did that.
I mean, I
and people said you look like a fat Jon Snow and an ugly Jon Snow, and I went, I'm going to kill myself.
Well, very soon, you're going to be a very fit Jon Snow. So
Now that the show's no longer relevant. Awesome.
Well, there's House of Dragon.
Yeah, he's not in that.
I know, but it's still.
But you
Whatever.
know, when another 100 years goes past and they need a new Jon Snow, then they can cast you.
Look, the point is, Monica, what was your favorite Eternal?
I don't remember any of their
Dude,
names,
yeah,
and I fell asleep during that movie. Okay.
Well, mine was definitely Lucy Eternal. Anyway, yeah, so then Simon Kinberg came back to write this. He wrote the previous, like the trilogy, I think. I think Matthew Vaughn also worked on the series. He was the director on First Class. I don't know why they didn't just bring him back. Yeah. But yeah, it was very exciting. I went and saw it in theaters. Who did I see it in theaters with? Yeah, Monica, we saw it together. Monica,
Do you not remember this? No?
Monica, we saw it together, I think with Keith. We reviewed it back then, and the old version of Hack the Movies, we reviewed it.
Did she have fun?
And we did a commentary track for it. So this is like the 5th time we're talking about this movie. Yeah.
Oh, Monica, no.
Monica, do you smoke a lot of weed? What's going on, Monica? Are you okay?
Sorry.
Ate a lot
Do
of
you know where you are right now, Monica?
Maybe Tony
I'm
just
in
ate
a
a lot of
basement.
chocolate again.
We realize Monica's like forgetting all these experience and moments we've had together.
No.
Yeah, but then it's like a brand new experience.
Oh, yes.
Anyway.
Good memories.
And I remember loving it when it came out. But we've actually never talked about the Rogue cut. And I learned today that I thought I did. I don't think I've ever actually watched the full Rogue cut. I think I only watched the Rogue scenes because I was like, fuck, I already own the Blu-ray. I'm not buying it again. So I just looked them up on YouTube. But today I watched the full-on Rogue cut, and that's what we'll be talking about. You did not see it.
I did not see the Rogue
So
cut,
we'll let you know about some important changes they made.
Yeah, we'll mix and match and see, if it made more sense with it or without it. Or
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So.
The future. A dark, desolate world.
Okay, so we open up with a concentration camp full of mutants. And actually, I don't know if you guys picked up on the detail, but like the mutants they're showing are the younger ones from the 70s that we're about to see. Did you guys pick up on
See
that?
Quicksilver's hair. There's
You
like a someone with like silver hair.
Yeah, this guy with silver hair.
I did notice a lot of them were like Morlocks, right? Because wasn't that the Morlocks?
Well, I know they have the Morlock logo, but I think maybe that just means mutant in the future.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, they have the guy with the tattoos who was in the Vietnam scene coming up. They have the old version of him there. So I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Okay.
And then we see a little mutant boy walking around. He finds Wolverine's corpse. I had to look up who that was. It's because it matches the armor Wolverine had. And Professor X is like, man, things are pretty bad. And then he goes, don't ask me how I came back to life. We just kind of glossed over that in the post-credit sequence of The Wolverine.
This makes for a better movie.
Yeah. Sorry, you might be thinking, didn't you die? You missed 2 post-credit scenes that you probably didn't know exist. I'm back now. Hi, how you doing? Feels great. Although not great, because now there's a Holocaust going on. It's pretty depressing.
And it gets pretty dark pretty fast.
Yeah, so you
Everything
find out.
that I've been trying to stop has happened.
Yeah, look, it turns out Magneto was right, and I should have been helping him the entire time.
Yeah.
But we learned that the Sentinels were made by like humans, and they started.
Made by like humans.
Yeah, they made by humans. They started targeting mutants, but then they went a little bit further. They were like, well, there's humans who are helping mutants, and they're like, then there's humans that might carry the mutant gene. We gotta get rid of those too. With that did come from the comic. Like, there's just regular humans in there. Like, you're not allowed to breed. And then they decided, like, while we're at it, all the non-mutant superheroes too. Let's they walk past the Fantastic Four's like tombstones and like, they kind of count as mutants, right? Let's fucking kill them.
Did I miss that?
No. In the comic they
Oh,
did
in the
it,
comic.
but in the movie they're saying like even humans are in there because they might carry the gene.
I mean, it kind of reminds me of like a Minority Report because it's like what they think would happen because the humans are ones that they tested that like their grandkids might be mutants, so it's like get rid of them now. Like it's I was looking for Tom Cruise, he wasn't there.
But yeah, so that kid dies, and then we get the cool intro, and they brought back the X-Men 2 theme, which is still the best X-Men theme, minus the animated series theme.
How's it go?
The movie theme is like da, 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 da,
All right.
And then the cartoon goes, and then the Japanese cartoon intro. Did you ever hear that one?
What? No.
Oh my God. Look up the Japanese opening to X-Men, the animated series. It's like, shock! Yes. Did you ever watch the pilot for the X-Men cartoon that didn't get made, Pride of the X-Men?
No.
Oof.
I have not.
Oof. It's similar to the one that did get made, but Wolverine's Australian for no reason.
Yes.
It's mostly about Kitty Pryde, who you might realize is not really in the actual animated series. So they're like, get rid of that character.
Well, maybe they were like Hugh Jackman's Australian, so...
No, this was made way before that. And the theme song was X-Men, Heroes of the Day. It was really bad. We really lucked out with the one we got. But anyway, then we go to Moscow, and we see these future Sentinels. They're scary.
Oh, yeah.
They're intense.
They look more like Nimrod. Okay, well, someone didn't rewatch all 5 seasons of the original series before this episode.
I didn't know.
So Nimrod is the future Sentinels in like the cartoon and comics. He's like a more streamlined Sentinel.
Gotcha.
But I guess they did.
Actually Nimrod?
Yeah. Nimrod doesn't mean like dumb, stupid person. It actually has multiple meanings, but I guess for the movie, they're like, let's just say Sentinels because it's going to be weird where they're like, oh, there's a bunch of Nimrods coming at us.
It'd be good comedy.
But yeah, when I saw the movie at the time, I had like forgotten about that. I'm like, why do they not look like Sentinels? I'm like, oh, that's right. The Sentinels do evolve in the future. But yeah, they're like creepy. I don't like their heads. They scare me.
The Sentinels? I mean,
the whole point. They're supposed to be scary.
Yeah, but the problem is that when we see the other Sentinels later, I'm like, oh, those suck. I'm like, wow, you really spoiled us with those cool future Sentinels. The past Sentinels look like shit, which I guess they're supposed to.
The whole premise of this movie is like why they become so scary.
Because the days of the future in the past.
So we get to meet some mutants. Blink, which was this and the next location we go to in this film was part of Hollywood's push to really get their movies played in China. So this is Fan Bingbing, is that her name? Or
I think that is.
Yes. She's like, at the time, I don't know about it anymore, she was the biggest star in China.
Really?
So they were like, well, we got to put her in an X-Men movie.
Yeah.
And then we'll set a scene, and we'll set most of the movie in China, and it'll play there.
Yeah, but blink and you can miss her.
Most of the movie in China.
Yeah. Funny.
Was that good?
Iron Man 3. Have you ever heard about the Iron Man 3 Chinese cut?
No. The Chinese cut. No.
Okay.
Hit me.
Because that was like when it was started. That's when China was like, okay, you guys start put your movies here, but they have to be like big and they have to be 3D and you have to have a Chinese person in it. So she's in that movie. I think it's her. She's like a nurse at the end. She's like, she goes to a doctor who's played by the biggest actor in China at the time. They're like, only Chinese medicine can save Tony Stark.
Oh no. And
so if you watch the theatrical cut,
only we can save Iron Man.
No, I'm not lying. There's like a scene where Iron Man goes to China, is like waving to people. But if you watch the theatrical cut when they're pulling the thing out of his chest, you see like Chinese like writing, like that is from the Chinese cut.
No way, really.
So, but it like took me back because
I support it. I'm all for it, but it's a little weird.
That stuff has kind of died down now. So it's funny when you watch movies from like 2012 to like 2016. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that was like a big thing that was going on in movies at the time.
We have to push it.
Like Transformers 4, they're like, yes, we have to go to Hong Kong for the rest of this film. But I think Hollywood stopped it a little bit because they really tried to make Star Wars work over there, and Star Wars did not work over there. Anyway, she's Blink. She can make portals. Then we have Bishop.
Yeah.
That was a friggin' letdown.
Yeah. Because he doesn't do much.
It's just, he doesn't really look like Bishop.
Well, I mean,
I like that actor. He was in like the Jurassic World movies, but I'm like, Bishop doesn't dress like that. And then I'm like, why is he I know the actor's French, but I'm like, but Bishop, I don't remember Bishop being French.
Wait a minute.
Well, that doesn't really matter.
Yeah. I wanted to. So okay. So the animated series, when they did Days of Future Past, it's Bishop who goes back in time. He's not in the comic. I don't think he existed yet. So I think that's why he's in the movie. I'm like, okay, well, you know that we know him from that, but like, could you make him act like the Bishop we know? I'm like, whatever. So he's there. They have Warpath. He's pretty cool. I guess he could see pretty far. They brought back Elliot Page as Kitty Pryde. Yeah. Sunspot's there.
Yeah.
Colossus, he's still hanging around. He says like, I think
they don't give him a lot of lines to say in any
I
of these
think
movies.
I think he says like 1 or 2 lines in this. Well, the last line he said she took off, the last movie.
I mean, he's way better in the Deadpool movies.
Yeah, well, that's a different actor. In this one, I think he goes, Mystique.
Mystique.
That's the only thing I remember. Because I'm so used to that guy not talking. So when it cut to him saying that, I'm like,
very awkward.
You could tell he was just like, can I say Mystique? Can I just say something?
I just want to say one word.
It's my fourth fucking movie.
Just to describe the situation to the audience. And they were like, you can say Mystique. Okay.
And Iceman is there.
Woo.
Bobby Drake came back. Oh, you don't. Yeah.
I don't like Iceman.
You don't like him?
No.
Even when he's like sliding on that cool ice.
It was cool that they gave him the slide finally.
I mean, they gave him more action in this one, but I don't know. I just don't like him.
the character, just the guy, like
No, I like the guy.
Okay.
No, you don't like that he picked Kitty over Rogue.
Yeah, that part annoyed me, but
especially well, we learned that they eventually got their powers back after the cure, so he probably did try to stay with Rogue, and then she accidentally almost killed him. I'd probably break up with a girl after that. I've broken up with girls for less, but almost killing me, I'd probably break up with them for that.
Know,
tried to suck the soul from him, right?
Huh?
Tried to suck the soul from him, right?
Probably.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, he does his cool ice slide. I like he does the ice slide through the portal. This whole opening is pretty fun.
It's a little
and I will say,
but it's
they don't have their comic accurate suits, but their suits have a little bit. Actually, Sunspots is actually pretty accurate with that design that he has.
Yeah.
But I like that the suits had a little bit more color on them on top of the black leather, because that was the criticism that the other movies he did, there was just mostly black leather with little lines.
Yeah.
These are a little bit more intricate, and then they throw that all away for the next movie when they put him black armor and ruin it.
There's like a moment when Iceman's sliding on his icicle thing, and Kitty Pryde and Bishop are running towards him, and I guess that they wanted to like show that like they were acknowledging each other.
Yeah.
But they hold it for like way too long. I don't know why I caught this, but like he's like just staring at her and like leaning in as he's going, and Kitty Pryde's just like running as she's staring at him as well, and it's like you could have just been like, all right.
I think it's because like
they're in love.
They're in love,
okay,
and like they keep dying. Like
all
Iceman
right.
keeps dying, and then Kitty's like, and Kitty and Bishop move it back 10 minutes, and then he comes back to life.
So they're like, here we go again.
Like, I'm probably gonna die again.
She's like, do better this time, and he's like, more ice.
I don't know why. I was getting nervous when Kitty was running with Bishop, because they would run through things. I'm like, what if she tripped and let go? He would just be like bisected into a million. Like, I'm like, oh my God, that's a horrifying thought.
She goes to reach out her hand and she misses.
So yeah, I like that the Sentinels, so they could change their skin like Mystique, but they also have Rogue's ability to absorb powers. And then they do a cool thing where they can send powers to other Sentinels. So the one is being frozen and the other one's being burnt, and then they send the other powers to the other one to like kill them. That was awesome.
That's pretty cool. How do Sentinels take in DNA? Like they're robots, right? So how do they take? I guess Mystique's DNA. I know it's comic book, so I'm not gonna go too deep into it.
I think they're.
But I'm like what?
I think they're like they're like biomechanical. Okay. They're like cyborgs almost. So there should be like an organic element that's controlled by a machine.
I just wanted to be a pain in the ass for once.
You're right. That wasn't what it was like in the other books. I think they were just big robots.
Yeah. Powerful.
So you're right. She does her weird brain thing, and I guess sends Bishop's brain back a few days so they can avoid it. Okay, so they wanted Kitty Pryde in the movie because one, Ellie Page was still pretty big at the time.
Yeah.
One of the few things people liked about X-Men 3 who wanted them to come back. And she's a big part of Days of Future Past, but like she's the one who goes back in time.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we want to put our past stuff in the 70s, and that doesn't make any sense.
And people really like Wolverine.
The only
reason they keep coming back.
So they're like, that's kind of the only one we can send back there.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, how they did it makes awesome sense.
Well, no, because a psychic sends her back in time in the comics. So they're like, Kitty Pryde's phasing ability now gives you the ability.
You can phase through years.
And I know mutants have like extra abilities. Like that happened with Emma Frost. They just showed it. I think it's how it happened in the comic, but in X-Men 97, like she's a psychic and then Genosha gets attacked. She has her crystal form. Oh. And they're like, oh, it must be a latent mutant ability. So I guess one day, Kitty Pryde woke up and was like, I think I can send people's brain back in time.
Come here, let me try this.
Crazy thought. Let me put my hand on your head. Lights are going to come out, and I think I'm going to send you back to tomorrow.
I want to try this out.
The problem is, though, is she just now creating just branching timelines every time she does that?
I mean, technically, yeah, right?
That's horrifying.
Yes.
That will be addressed in Deadpool 3.
Yeah, I mean, actually, that's how I'm here right now because Kitty Pryde next year sent me back to this body in this moment. She was all like, "This review ends the world," so she sent me back to this body.
What happens in the review that ends the world?
I don't know, but I was supposed to.
She didn't tell me. Sending you back.
She just said that I had to come back and re-review this movie right now to fix it.
Oh,
but
yeah.
What if we just repeat the same review?
Well, she told me we're gonna change it. But you don't want to know who president.
Wait, hold on.
It's wild.
Wait. Were you the one that broke the dam that killed Crystal?
Oh my god.
Oh, I forgot we brought her back since then, so that joke doesn't work anymore. Sorry. Never mind.
That's all right. That was a bad joke. All right, we're gonna run with that.
I love what goes wrong. I don't know. She sent you back.
We didn't talk about it. She just touched her hands to my temples, and here I am. I said, "Wait."
Okay, so now they're in China. Because you got to get your movie to play there.
Get to China, nice.
And the X-Men arrive at the secret base. And the X-Men consist of Professor X, who has a hover chair.
Looking cool.
Not the hover chair that you want to see him in. That shows up in Doctor Strange. Storm, who was going to have a bigger role. And then she got pregnant before they started. Yep. Good job, Halle Berry.
There's also supposed to be a romance with Wolverine. As well.
There was one deleted scene, I think, of that like exists. Yeah. Where they like make out, and it kind of makes Wolverine seem like a dick now at the end of the movie if that scene was in there.
Yeah.
Because it's like, wait, if it's him, his new conscience, would he be like, oh, I guess I'll try to have a relationship with Storm? Instead, he's like, oh, I'm going to go back after that married woman.
Shit. Jean's alive? Oh, hold on.
It's the weirdest thing about Wolverine. It's like, oh, there's just like this beautiful...
We discussed this before. He's kind of a simp for Jean.
He really does simp. And he gets a clean slate and he wants to simp again.
Well,
oh my God. Just go with Storm.
Sometimes men are idiots, you know?
Oh, God. And Magneto's there.
Yeah.
Wolverine, they finally gave him his yellow and blue suit, and then they covered it in black armor. I don't know if it shows on film, but like the character posters they released, like, he's got a little bit of yellow and blue, there. And it's too dark, and they put armor on it, so it's like, what was the fucking even the point of it? What was the point? Just go all in or not?
Just to make you know that it was there.
It's annoying because the Wolverine, the deleted ending was him getting the yellow suit, and I thought he'd wear that, and then he didn't.
Yeah.
Also, his claws are back. Because they got cut off in the previous film. Oh. But they're adamantium claws. How did he get those back?
They grew.
Monica, how did he get them back?
Why are you guys yelling at me?
You said you love X-Men. You know everything about it.
Is that what you said?
Except for Nimrods. You didn't know what Nimrods were.
I don't know.
I'm relying on you right now.
I was hoping like Magneto would give him new metal ones.
Sorry.
I was hoping they'd be like janky metal ones, like they're not adamantium because they're just over his like bone ones.
He just had a tinfoil.
Yeah. Like Wolverine just like it's just too nice to tell him that he suck, and he goes, "Ah, it's great, Magneto."
Thanks.
He retracts them, they all crumble. He's like, "Oh, sorry." So yeah, I guess during this apocalypse, they're like, "Well, let's go get some adamantium.
Yeah, let's rebuild them. Yeah.
We'll figure out a way to melt it, which is really, really hard, so you could have claws again."
And Magneto put it back into his body.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
You think Wolverine would want less metal on his bones, so when his healing factor runs out, it won't kill him. But what do I know?
Huh? Yeah.
Also,
at a certain point, he's just gonna be done with it. So
yeah, and they gave him a little bit of white from the comic, which is fun.
Like that.
I did love it.
I
gotta say, he was looking pretty good at this.
He looks good. He looks good.
I have a note. We've criticized it in the very first review, but I'm going to bring back the criticism again about how good he looks, and it doesn't really make sense.
Oh, baby.
Okay.
Makes sense to me.
I'll explain. Oh,
because you want him to be like this short.
No, not that. Different complaint.
Okay.
Professor X learns what they've been doing, and then he's like, "Okay, that's very effective." He's like, "I got a plan." Yeah. You're going to send me back to 1973 and I'm going to stop Mystique from killing Trask. And then Kitty says, "The Black General from X-Men 3." And he goes, "Oh, no. No, the little guy who has the same exact name. I guess there's just two Boulevard Trasks in this universe."
Technically, in the other one, they never said his first name. They just said Trask. So it could have been his brother.
So Bill Duke, very dark-skinned, older black guy.
They could be adopted brothers.
I guess. I like that.
You know what? There should have been a line where Peter Dinklage like, "Oh, yes, there is my brother." I was taken in by a black family. They were very courteous towards me.
Sorry, my brother couldn't make it. Shit.
So anyway,
that's so wrong.
A different Trask. I can't believe they left that scene in the movie. I would have honestly, I would have preferred Bill Duke in this, but whatever. Peter Dinklage is kind of an asshole.
I love Peter Dinklage. I think he's great.
No, he ruined.
You mean in general he's an asshole, or in this?
Yeah,
movie?
no, he kind of ruined acting jobs for little people forever.
Why? Because he always gets cast.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, the thing is, it's one thing to be like, hey, could you stop only picking us for like these elf roles and stuff? Which okay, fine, fair. So like, okay, Peter Dinklage, we're gonna cast you to be in these roles that aren't stereotypical, and then we're just gonna shrink Hugh Grant down to be little people.
Well,
we're not using little people at all anymore. So he literally climbed the ladder and then kicked it, so no other little person will ever be a famous actor ever again.
Oh no.
It's like, hey, Peter Dinklage, you got famous from being these stereotypical roles and were able to break out, and now you're making it impossible for everyone else.
I mean, it's not his fault. It's the studio's.
No, I blame him. Anyway,
I love him. I think he's great.
there's a new Seven Dwarfs movie, and they all look like CGI nightmares.
Jeez,
Oh,
I haven't seen. Yeah,
Look, the new Wonka movie wasn't that bad, but Hugh Grant was really scaring me the whole time. I'm like, I don't like this. It should have just been a little person.
I saw the trailer. That was nuts. You also didn't see Game of Thrones, so you don't know how great Peter Dinklage can be.
I saw him in Tiptoes. That's Trisha's favorite movie.
What?
Ask her about Tiptoes. It's one of the reasons she doesn't like Gary Oldman. Anyway.
Where is that Dracula man?
So,
throw it on.
yeah, it's over there. So Mystique in the past killed Trask, who was making the Sentinel program, and then they took her blood, and his scientists use her blood to make the future Sentinels. But because she killed him, it made a lot of anti-mutant sympathy, and that leads to the events that they're living in now. So they're like, we got to go back and stop that.
Yep.
And they had to do Trask because they accidentally killed Senator Kelly in the first movie. So they couldn't really do that storyline.
They're like, shit, did we kill him?
Oops.
It could have just been another Kelly.
Yes. They
Could have brought his brother.
Senator Kelly should have had a brother who was a little black guy. Should have been the guy from Bad Santa. It should have been, Oh, Tony something. I'm blanking on his name. It should have been. I'm Senator Kelly. I'm a different Senator Kelly.
Played by Peter Dinklage.
I like this fan fiction rap.
Everyone's just got an adopted brother to put in any situation.
Oh, shit.
My little person brother got sent to the wrong family. We got switched.
This is different.
Anyway. So Kitty Pryde is like, hey, look, this will rip your brain apart. Like I'm still new at this. This power that doesn't make sense. I don't know how it's related to.
You don't want me to take
But
a
I
test drive
know it'll
with your
rip you
brain.
apart.
Yeah. I can send it back a couple days or a month, but even a brain as powerful as yours can't handle it. And then Wolverine's just like, fuck. He's just like, oh, come on.
I know where this is going.
Like, he's looking around. He's like, I'm thinking he's like, does Colossus have a metal brain? Can he do it? What about
Bishop's brain's used to it. You've been sending him back every day.
Yeah. Bishop, he can absorb, I don't know, energy or something. Storm, lightning brain. I don't know. Create lightning, sign that. And he's like, oh, fine. All right. I guess I'll do it. I'm fucking Wolverine. I do everything.
Heal really fast. It's fine.
He just wanted to go back to that moment in time. That really.
So they're like, all right, Wolverine, that's great. He's like, okay, so I got to go back and I'm going to have you read my mind. And Charles goes, about that. I don't have my powers. And he's like, I'm sorry, what? He's like, yeah, I didn't have my powers that year.
I was a bit of a junkie back then.
Yeah, right.
And he's like,
dope, but it wasn't really dope, but it's kind of like dope.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, so I got to go back and give you a goddamn pep talk. He's like, okay, fine. And then Magneto's like, oh, you also need me. And he's like, okay, well, where are they keeping you? And they keep it a secret for a bit. When you find out, if I was Wolverine, I would be like, oh, fuck off. Like, are you seriously?
You're already sending me back in time. Now I got to do this.
You're where? I'm sorry?
Are there any other psychics at that time who could read my mind and relay this? Because this is a lot for me.
They didn't want to bury the lead for him. They wanted to be exciting for the
Magneto's like, no, there's no other psychics. Emma Frost got killed off between films, so you're fucked.
Oh, no.
Really? He should be like, wait, can you send me back to, like, before that? Like maybe a year or two before
you would
that?
think, yeah. Like eventually you could send me back whenever, maybe even when you're all together in first class and just say, hey, Mystique, don't kill Trask. That's it.
And then I guess Bobby did end up with Kitty. Is this in the road cut? He like makes out with Kitty right before it happens. I don't know if that's or it's in the road cut. I don't know if it's in the theatrical cut.
No.
In the road cut, they just hold hands.
No, they kiss.
Do they kiss? Maybe I just blacked it out.
You were so disgusted by it. You said, that cheating bastard, and you looked away from the screen.
I think they did just hold hands.
I think they kissed in the version
I saw something about like the studio was like, oh, this is too
No.
That was the other one.
No,
so
you watched the reel that I uploaded of me and her talking about that
I
about
did,
the other
yeah.
film.
Oh, is that where I saw that?
Yes.
I remember that.
Somebody super smart said.
Oh.
I don't know where I saw it, but they were really smart when they said it. I was going through the Instagram page today, and I saw it.
Good. All right, so Wolverine
Good
wakes
work,
up. Wolverine wakes up in the 70s.
Whoa.
He is jacked
And butt naked.
and butt naked. Now, this is a continuity error I brought back up in the first film. So famously, Hugh Jackman was like a last-minute addition to the first X-Men movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the bad guy from Mission Impossible 2 was supposed to be him, and then they had to do reshoots.
Really?
And he's like, nah, I can't be in your comic book movie. They're like, all right, get this dancing guy in the movie, and he ended up being a huge actor. So the first X-Men movie, like, he's like in shape, but he's like okay.
Yeah, he's
and then
not.
all the other movies, he's like ripped. I'm like, all right,
Shredded.
and sequentially that's fine, but it's like, oh no, he was real ripped in the 70s and 80s, and then he took a break in
Yeah.
like the
Toned down a
90s.
little
He was at the bar drinking a lot, you know.
Yeah, the 90s. In the 90s, he let himself go a little bit, and
It
then
was
he
the
saw that
90s.
hot redhead. He's like, I gotta get back to living.
Muscle memory, baby.
But it's so funny when you watch him. You're just like, wow, there was just a rough decade where he just was just chilling for a bit.
She got real skinny, toned down a little bit.
Yeah.
Got back to it.
I mean, he was living in that like camper van, basically.
Yeah,
So probably not a lot of time.
we didn't see any dumbbells in that van.
Yeah.
You're right.
I mean, he was fighting a lot though, so you feel like
Yeah, but he gets to
Cardio.
cheat because he's got the metal in his bone. If anything, the heavy metal in his bones would probably be lifting, right?
Keep him. Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
Anyway,
Moving his
got
arms
his
up and
own
down all day.
weights. Built-in weights.
yeah, he's got built-in weights. And in real life, he has steroids. Anyway, so yeah, he wakes up. Turns out he's sleeping with his mob boss's daughter.
Yeah. He was supposed to wear pants, and then Hugh Jackman was like, you know what? I'll just go naked. And then went
Well,
naked.
a guy who travels back to the past and is naked.
Who does that remind you of?
There's like 5 movies related to it. People get terminated in them.
They what?
Kind of
so yeah,
the same.
huh?
They get terminated in this movie too.
Yeah. Oh, and he has a metal skeleton. He's basically the
Wow.
Terminator.
And anytime you go back in time, you just gotta be naked.
Yeah.
Yeah. The book came out before Terminator, but it's very different. This one makes it more like Terminator.
Was
So
he
yeah,
naked in the book?
Huh?
Was he naked in the book?
No, he never goes back in time.
Oh
He's
yeah, that's
only
right.
in the future.
That's right. We did go over
He's
that.
working with the Canadian. He's working with the Canadian Resistance Group. In it. It's pretty funny.
I'm out to lunch.
So he shows off his stupid bone claws, and I'm already on record. I don't like bone claws. I think they're dumb.
Okay.
When he like takes those guys out, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
He
And
gets
he also
goes
pops
after.
the waterbed.
yeah, he pops the waterbed, which I thought was fun.
I like that the girl calls him Jimmy.
Oh yeah,
Thought
James
that
Hewitt.
was a
his
little
name.
nice one. That was kind of cool.
So yeah, he's like fighting, and I like he gets in the car, and the girl. Is this in the theatrical cut? Does the girl try to go with him?
No.
In the road cut,
The road cut, she tries to go.
she's like, Jimmy, take me with you. He's like, get out, lady.
Get out. Get out of here.
Yeah, that's what he does. He goes,
I'll bone you. What?
Different one.
and then we cut to Trask showing his presentation for the Sentinels, and he's presenting it to Michael Lerner,
Yeah.
who we talked about recently in Omen 4.
Nice.
The Awakening. Is that the worst Omen movie? You're going to have to watch the What is the Worst Omen movie episode to find out. He's also Mayor Ebert in the Godzilla 98 movie.
Oh yeah.
Hey, good for him.
Because those movies made fun of Siskel and Ebert. It was Mayor Ebert and his assistant,
Oh, and that's
Gene.
sweet. Huh.
But then they reviewed the movie and they were like, well, if you're going to put us in there, why didn't you have Godzilla step on us? Like, we just kind of, the characters based of us are just kind of assholes. That's fine. It's like,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you had a great opportunity to
Yeah.
kill us with Godzilla and you didn't take it. Anyway,
It's been a while since I've seen that one. But
he
I-
looked
I
like
love
Roger
it.
Ebert, which is why they cast him.
Yeah.
But Michael Lerner, he's like, look, we don't really care about mutants. They're a very small percentage of the population.
Why should we bother? They're never gonna uprise and try and kill everyone
Yeah.
one day.
And then he's all like, that's what the Neanderthal thought. It's not Neanderthal, it's Neanderthal. That's the appropriate way to say it, but a lot of people don't know that.
Oh,
really,
shit,
I took an anthropology class. And that fact is burned in my fucking memory, and now I'm an asshole about it every time I hear it.
Neanderthal.
Because I had to say it right. Everyone else needs to say it right. They don't like his program. They shut it down.
Yes, they did.
In Saigon, Mystique disguises herself as a guy, and she walks into the mutant camp. Apparently, America lost the Vietnam War with mutants. I feel like those mutants probably could have taken care of most of the war, to be honest.
They didn't have them fighting, technically. I mean, they were locked up in the
They didn't fight?
cabin. Did they? Were they
No,
fighting?
they did fight because
They did?
That's one of the reasons Professor X is so sad. A lot of them died. But I feel like these guys could have taken care of it. That one dude just looks at you and you get all sick and you pass out. I'm like, just have him
Both
walk.
of them.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
Huh?
The one.
Oh, and the
ink
tattoo
one,
guy.
Yeah,
Tattoo
he can make
dude.
them like sick, and then Spike also somehow makes them pass out and sick.
Right?
Yeah.
That weird
I feel like you just go,
vertigo
hey,
thing.
go walk. Here's a week's worth of food. Walk in one line of the jungle and keep using that power.
Keep your hand out.
And then Toad's there, looking a little different. I guess that's like he hasn't molted yet. I don't think Toad's
molted?
molts. I think that's like a reptile thing, not an amphibian thing. But it is Toad, but he just doesn't look like the Toad that we eventually see. So I guess he's in his tadpole form.
Still a tadpole. Yes.
Do you think he started as a tadpole? What's after a tadpole? It's been a long time since I
don't
looked
know.
up the life cycle of toads and frogs.
A frog? Would you just go from a tadpole?
No, I
to
think
a-
it's a tadpole, and then it's like the version with the tail and the legs, and then it becomes like a full one.
Yeah, it's been a while
So, yeah.
since I had science class.
Yeah, no. Well, we'll go down to the creek over there. We'll look for them.
They're not going to tell us what they're called.
Huh?
They're not going to tell
We're not
us.
going to ask the
That's
frogs.
right, I guess.
Hey, frog, what were you before?
My
Did you
bad.
see Days of Future Past?
So she's posing as the general, and then Stryker shows up.
Yeah.
Now, this guy was supposed to play Juggernaut in this film.
Yes, sir.
And they decided not to use Juggernaut.
But I thought he was in the other movie before this. Am I making that up?
No, Juggernaut was in...
No, Stryker.
She's saying Stryker, or the one after. He comes back for the next one, doesn't he?
He's in the... This actor comes back in the next one.
Yes.
But this
Okay.
is his first time playing young Stryker.
Okay,
Because he was
I'm
supposed
mixing
to
them up.
be-
Sorry.
Who's very young in this one, even though in the 70s in X-Men Origins, he was a little older.
Yeah.
A lot of continuity issues in this
He
franchise.
kind of looks like him in the face, though, because who was it? Brian Cox,
his
right?
brother.
It was Brian Cox in the original.
that's supposed
It's
to
his
be-
brother. Yeah, my other brother, the other Stryker. There's just a million brothers, and they all have the same name.
He's one of these strikers.
But yeah, he was supposed to play Juggernaut, and I could kind of see it if they made him bulkier.
Yeah.
But they were like,
Kinda
we're getting rid of
looks
that character. Fuck it, you're Stryker. And it's like, oh, we're doing another Stryker. Okay, cool.
He kind of looks like Vinnie Jones as well, right? Was it
He
Vinnie
looks
Jones?
nothing like
Right?
Vinnie
Well,
Jones.
maybe a little
And
bit
I've
in the
already
eyes.
apologized
Little bit.
in an episode. I know I said Vinnie Jones is Australian. He's Cockney. I get those two accents mixed up all the time.
Accidents.
Euro Trip.
It was an accident.
best Vinnie Jones movie, Euro Trip. Love that flick.
Someone who really loves Lock, Stock, and Smoking Barrels is leaving a really angry comment right now.
Euro Trip. Sorry.
Someone who really loves X-Men The Last Stand is leaving a really mean comment right now. How dare you? Vinnie Jones was the lifeblood of the X-Men franchise.
He's the juggernaut, bitch.
Oh, God.
That was right.
So she frees them. Havoc's there, Scott's brother, and he's just like, hey, what's up, Mystique? Still doing the mutant thing. Cool. She's like, because they were about to take them to Trask Industries so they can experiment and kill them.
Yeah.
So she frees them. She gets them on a plane and gets out of there. And Havoc says, like, goodbye, Mystique. I'll see you 10 years from now when I die in a horrible explosion.
Was that the road cut he said that in?
Yeah, he did.
Okay. All
He
right.
did.
All right, okay.
He's
Yeah,
like,
they had a little bit of difference in between
Yeah.
the road cut and this one.
Yeah. I didn't get that part, but yeah, no, that's cool.
She was like, well, thanks for giving me the heads up. Do you know what day that happens? He's like, I actually don't know. I'm like, all right, we'll just guess
sometime in the days of the future in the past.
try not to get blown up, I guess. So yeah, Wolverine shows up at the mansion, and he sees Beast in human form.
Lex
Which-
Luthor.
Yeah, he's not Lex Luthor yet.
Sorry.
He's Jack the Giant
I'm like-
Slayer.
Still Jack. All right, I got
That's what he's known for.
I
He's-
keep on seeing him and like trying to envision because I think he's gonna play a really good Lex Luthor, but like the voice I just need a little bit deeper. So I keep watching him and things and like hoping that maybe he can pull that.
He should talk like this the whole time. That should be his Lex Luthor voice. I was trying to think of like what would be the worst voice for that guy to do.
You see, Superman, I'm gonna kill
see?
you.
Oh, Superman, I'll get you. But everyone else is modern. They're like, what the fuck's wrong with that?
What is wrong with Lex Luthor?
You'll never catch me. I'm robbing another bank.
I'm from the days of the future and the past. See?
Yeah, but I remember seeing the previews for this. I'm like, why is he in human form? That doesn't make sense. He permanently changed in the last one. I like that he tries to get him to leave, and Wolverine's like, this is taking too long. He just like punches him right in the face.
Listen, bub, we're gonna be friends one day.
But right now, but then he goes beast mode, and he looks like the Kelsey Grammer Beast, not the X-Men First Class Beast, where he had the stupid cat nose.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Beast looking too much like a cat? They were trying to do that for a bit in the comics, and I didn't like it.
Hit it.
I like Blue Beast, but there's some comics where he looks like a straight up lion, and I'm like, I don't like it.
No.
Yeah. It seems like
I get it. He's a beast, but like, meh.
I feel like they backtracked it. I've seen like modern pictures of him. Like, okay, he looks a little bit more like the Beast I remember, but that cat Beast, I'm like, nah, I'm not about that.
Yeah, it's too soft and friendly.
Yeah. So now he has a regular human.
Give him milk. Yeah.
I think it didn't help they gave him the little glasses and he wore them the entire time in the previous. I'm like, I don't like that. So yeah, they beat the shit out of each other. It's pretty fun.
It's pretty cool. It was a good scene.
That was a lot of fun. I did like that scene.
Yeah. Hanging from
Bryan
the
Singer is a really good director. We'll leave it at that.
Real awkward.
We'll leave it at that.
I don't like to touch on certain things you talk about, Tony. So
That's a really good director.
Try to keep my way out of this.
You know, if he's the kind of director whose movie gets nominated for Best Picture, but not Best Director, and then he doesn't get invited to the Oscars. That happened a few years ago.
Did it really?
Yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody. Anyway, so yeah, Professor X shows up walking, and he's just like, I think I remember this Canadian-Australian guy. Get off the chandelier, Beast. Wolverine explains, he's like, hey, look, I'm sent from the future, and he does the best to explain who he is. Yeah. Like, I'm this, and they're like, what? He brings him up to speed, and he tells him, it's like, okay, now that we're all on the same page, let's go break Magneto out of the Pentagon. And they're like, oh, come on. He's like, and there should be a scene where he's like, that's exactly what I said, but apparently we really need him.
You guys both told me that this is what we had to do, so they were like, orders.
And he goes, well, maybe not you, Beast, you're dead. I mean, what? Hi.
They were like, why couldn't you have came back last year? You had to come back now?
But Charles still hates Eric because Mystique chose to live with him, even though at the end of that movie, he was okay with it. Probably because he was more concerned about the bullet in his spine. He's like, yeah, it's great, Mystique. Go hang out with him. Someone get him to a hospital.
And he also fell in love with the other woman, so it was just like,
Moira McTaggart.
Yeah, that's her name.
And then he just realized what he lost, you know?
Yeah. And Moira McTaggart is sisters to the other Moira McTaggart in The Last Stand, who actually is Scottish like the comics. So many sisters and brothers with the same names. It's weird.
That X-Men universe.
It's really great.
It's excessive.
Then he tells Wolverine to fuck off, which is what he told them in First Class, which was fun.
Let me tell you what you told me. Yeah.
Then we get the backstory. He opened up the school. Everything was great for a semester, and then a bunch of the students and teachers got drafted to Vietnam. And remember, Professor X at any moment could have used Cerebro and focused on all the political leaders that were making those decisions and killed them or changed their mind. But he's so ethical. He's so ethical, he didn't do that. So instead, he let all those thousands and thousands and thousands of people die.
And that's why he's in such a bad state right now.
Yes. And he had to hear it all the time. He couldn't interfere with any of the soldiers and make them miss or anything like that. That would just be too unethical. He has to have thousands of people die. Yeah. Thanks, Professor X.
Well, I mean, you do it for a war, then you have to do it every single day for everything. And, you know, everyone out there.
That's the problem with the X-Men universe. It's like, oh, there's other telepaths. You know they're going to they're probably the ones causing all of this. How does benefit me? So yeah, he didn't want to hear him anymore, so he uses Beast's anti-mutant serum. That's temporary. Yeah. It's not a cure like the other one. But it gives him the ability to walk.
Yeah, and I don't understand that.
No, he got a bullet in the spine. That wasn't really tied to his psychic power.
Like, when did Beast create the ability to have people just heal from these injuries. Like,
yeah. No, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
It makes absolutely no sense other than he just didn't want to be in the wheelchair. And I guess for the mission they're going on, a wheelchair would be a detriment, so...
Maybe it trades one power for another.
Oh, his latent mutant power is to walk when you're not supposed to.
Have a strong back and strong legs.
I think they're trying to kind of, like, be like, the trade-off.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I can walk now, and I don't hear all these voices in my head.
I get it.
So,
yeah.
The writers were like, all right, just hurry up and brush over this fucking part.
So he's addicted to legs.
legs.
That's what Monica, that's what I said
So
in
he's
our
like the Little Mermaid?
That's what I said in our original review, and I got a laugh at that time. And now 10 years later, I'm getting a laugh again.
Oh man, I laugh.
And because Monica has the memory of a goldfish, it's like she's laughing at it for the first time.
Oh shit. You gonna let him get away with that? Nice. Nice. That's good.
I didn't know you in 2014, or else I'd be giving you shit.
You kind of knew me, you know?
No, I just started talking to Trisha again in 2014.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
I didn't know you existed. She never invited me over when you were there.
I knew you.
She was like, I don't ever want you to meet my loser brother. Trisha said that.
Is that what she said?
Trisha said that, not me.
Oh man.
I was like, I don't know, Trisha, he seems cool. He's like, no, he's into stupid comics, and then
right.
And then I went,
like, you guys would not have gotten along,
right? He's like probably would like love to review movies and stuff. Ew.
Yeah.
Ew.
She said all
I would
that.
have loved to be in our homemade movies that we used to do.
Oh, jeez.
I think she was jealous. She's like, if
Good
Tony
thing.
meets Frank, he's going to put him in a bunch of stuff instead of me. And that's exactly what happened last year.
And now we're the bestest friends that anyone can have.
Yeah, and I don't even talk to Trisha anymore. Deleted her number, to be honest. And the funny thing is, we can make all these jokes because she doesn't watch episodes. She's not in. Don't clip and send that to Trisha. I'll kill all of you.
Nobody tag my sister, because I definitely won't make it to the future days of Christ.
All right.
They're discussing, the legs.
Yes.
But they have to break Magneto out.
Of the Pentagon.
And then Wolverine asks, like, well, why is he in jail? Yeah. And he's like, oh, they didn't tell you that? And it's just like, yeah, he killed the president. And then Logan's like, oh, shit.
Yeah, JFK, the bullet curved. Which it actually didn't. But,
I mean, it doesn't really make sense that if he was trying to save the president.
No, we didn't get to that part yet.
Oh, okay.
At this part, they think he killed him.
Okay, he's killing the president.
He
killed him.
My favorite episode of King of the Hill. Do you guys watch King of the Hill?
Randomly.
My favorite episode is Dale's the conspiracy guy, and he realizes he's been reading the report on the Kennedy assassination wrong, and he realizes it does make sense, and that's how how the story is how it happened. So he stops believing in all conspiracy theories. It like breaks his brain. He's like, well, this is true. Not true. None of them are true.
Oh, no.
People have a misconception. They don't realize that Kennedy was elevated. It was like a special car. Anyway.
Yeah.
Now we have a bunch of comments explaining how I'm wrong about the Kennedy assassination.
I mean, you kind of just, it should be more of a conspiracy realist.
Yes.
Than a conspiracy theorist.
So yeah, that's why he's down there. I don't know how they arrested him, but I guess they figured out a way to do it.
No idea. Yeah. I mean, I would think that I almost said Patrick Stewart. That Professor X controlled him or something, right? Like maybe flipped his helmet off.
Maybe he like helped and stopped him. Made him turn himself in, maybe.
Yeah. Stop taking the shot because he's like, oh man, he killed the president. I gotta go take him down now.
So they got to figure out how to get in there. And Wolverine's just like, I never caught how old Nightcrawler is, so I don't think he can help us. I don't know any other teleporters. And he's like, I know a guy who's really fast. And he happens to be an Avenger also, so it's going to be weird when he shows up in another movie a year from now. Wow. But he's like, I know this guy. He's younger now. Let's go get him.
He was like, I know Magneto's son.
While that's happening, Mystique disguises herself as Trask. Okay, when Mystique turns into the Statue of Liberty, not the big one, the little one in the first film. And then when she does this,
old Statue of Liberty,
I feel like her power should work like even when she was a little girl in X-Men 3, I feel like her power should work like the T-1000. It has to be equal size or shape.
Yeah. Where did all of her go?
Yeah, that's the weird thing. Like, I don't like that. I don't like that she can turn into that. I'm like,
it is kind of weird. Yeah.
I'm on board with shape-shifting. Yeah. I don't know how the clothes work, but I'm on board with shape-shifting. But like, this is starting to make me ask questions.
They definitely got to that scene and they were like, shit, we casted Peter Dinklage. Fuck.
Like, oh man, we didn't think about
brush over it real quick. Nobody's gonna know.
So she breaks into his office and finds all the files. She finds all the files of the mutants that they didn't want to bring back for this film. Yeah. Poor Zoe Kravitz dead.
Oh no.
January Jones dead. Nightcrawler's father, who was also an actor in the film Deep Rising, which I reviewed, dead. They're all dead.
Yeah. Were they dead or were they just pictures of them being
no, they're fucking
worked
dead.
on? Yeah,
they're dead.
I don't know. Maybe
they were dead.
They were dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's funny they didn't.
I trust you, not him.
So it's funny they didn't do this. They actually have somewhat of a reference to this famous cover of like all the slain mutants. In the beginning.
In the road cut, yes.
In the road cut. Oh, so it is only in the road cut.
It's only in the road cut where they show like the wall of the fallen.
Yeah, the wall of the fallen. They put like little like Polaroids of it. And it's supposed to. Yeah, it's supposed to resemble this. Which that is like one of the most famous covers. I have the Army of Darkness Marvel Zombies cover, and it's Ash as the Wolverine character.
Okay, real quick while we're talking about Trask Mystique in the office. That painting of Trask and the disabled girl is amazing.
He looks like a giant next to that girl.
Like holier than thou, and this little girl's just like, "Can I have my leg, please?"
It's so messed up.
Can I have it?
It's so messed up. I mean, it's technically foreshadowing the war between Professor X and Trask.
Trask ain't gonna help him.
Trask is giving him his legs back because he has forcing Professor X to go on this mission, so he has to get his legs back to be able to save the world. It makes sense. It's in there somewhere.
Do you think he kept that painting?
No, I found out Bryan Singer kept the painting.
Really? You looked into this. That's awesome.
I was looking some stuff up because I was trying to figure out the differences.
Yeah.
And I stumbled on that, and he's like, "Yeah, Bryan Singer loves it so much he took it out."
I mean, that makes his character look like an asshole. Like, who just has just pictures of them hanging around all over the place? I have to stretch.
Wow, Tony, where'd you get that shirt?
Oh, I got it at the Retroware store. If you look for hacked movies on the Retroware store, you can get the shirt with my face on it.
Cool, I'll go buy one now.
Dr. Trask?
1 second.
I like that she starts crying and then she turns back into Trask.
Yeah.
And he's like, yes, reports, data. I like earlier, he's like, that is a lovely scarf.
Yeah. I mean, he's obviously a dick to his woman that works for him.
Yeah, but then she's like, are you crying? He's like, no. This is my crying.
Totally fine. Go get me my agenda for the next few days.
Also, Mystique in this one, they didn't do the Rebecca Romaine makeup. They got rid of the cheek stuff. They toned down her makeup a little bit. They toned it down more in the next two. She's like a different shade of blue in the next two.
She was like, she like complained about wearing all the makeup.
Because I think she's wearing, I talked about it in the last episode, I think she's wearing a bodysuit instead of the pieces painted on.
Gotcha.
Because then there were behind the scenes photos and people were like, oh, she looks fat. It's like, no, she's got like a layer of skin on top of her, but whatever. But yeah, she like apparently complained about the makeup, and it's fine for this movie. It gets really bad in Dark Phoenix, where it's like, man, they're not even really trying anymore.
Dark Phoenix.
So they find Peter, not Pietro, I guess, Peter Maximoff, and they say hi to Wanda. Yeah. They say hi, not Wanda.
So that's only in the road cut.
Yeah.
She is in the theatrical cut, but you're right. This scene, I don't remember them talking to her.
Yeah, they show her in the end, like when they're Quicksilver's watching the TV with her. Yeah. But in the road cut, this scene, where they like talk to. Well, they don't really say she's Wanda.
Yeah, but it's.
But they also reference that there's another daughter in the house too.
Oh.
So the mom says, like, go annoy your sister. She's like, she annoys me.
Oh, you know what? I guess the younger one would be too young to be Magneto if it was Magneto, if they're going with that.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I guess the other
sister. They were trying to throw in a reference that like Scarlet Witch exists, but you don't see her.
Yeah.
They do mention him being Magneto's son in the in the next one.
Yeah, they do. They do. It's specifically said in the next one, but it's hinted to here.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's very fast, and I love that he's a kleptomaniac.
Yeah,
he's stealing everything.
Love that. It's fantastic. It's hilarious.
They ask him, they're like, "All right, so we need your help. We got to break into the Pentagon."
You kleptomaniac. It's like, there's a line in there.
I like Beast just goes, he's fascinating. And Charles like, he's an asshole.
Yeah, he's an asshole.
But yeah, they have to prove that they're not lying.
Yeah.
So Wolverine takes his bones out of his hand. Much like in Terminator 2, they have to prove to Miles Dyson that Terminators exist. So Arnold takes his skeleton out of his hand.
Bryan Singer is probably a big Terminator fan.
He probably is a big Terminator fan.
Yeah. I love the way
we know from experience that if Bryan Singer likes a movie, he will make basically the same movie. Watch the Superman Returns episode. Anyway.
Same movie. I really like the way that they use speed in this movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean... just the real quick cuts, like he's here, he's there. It's not like, awkward and weird like that movie we reviewed last year that came out last June.
So you don't want really lightning rough. Everywhere.
And this was 10 years ago, right? That this came out, and how well that they did the speed, and he's not running like this.
Yeah. Okay, so you're comparing
like he's swimming.
You're comparing it to the Flash movie.
Oh, I am?
Yes. Now, let's compare it to a different superhero film. How do you think it compares to the super speed in Eternals?
Well, you go first.
I think I was asleep during that part.
I mean, it looks really good in Eternals, but it's also like you're moving with her at that high speed. So when he's moving at a high speed, he's going like everything else kind of slows down. To where in that one, everything I think still stays fast.
I just remember on Twitter like last year, someone was criticizing the Flash, and they're like, "This is an example of a good super speed," and then I think most people responded, "They both look like shit."
But this one's definitely the best. There's a little like in there
I like
adds to it. Like it's like it really adds to the speed. My question is, when he's playing Pong, how is the Pong sped up?
Yeah, how does he speed the freaking computer up? That doesn't make sense. Also, is he playing his music on like super fast speed so it sounds normal to him later on?
Oh yeah, probably puts him on like
really fast, speed.
Or is it like a lot of these mutants? If they touch something, it suddenly has their power, like their clothes and whatnot. Like Kitty Pryde can put her hand on someone and then they can phase. Doesn't make any sense. So
doesn't make any sense.
Maybe he can make other things go fast.
Comic book movies.
Yeah. So he's in. He's like, all right, cool. I like this plan.
Doesn't take a lot of convincing. No.
No. He's like, I like this plan. I'm excited to be a part of it. So yeah, Hank uses some old school hacking to play Sanford and Son. I thought that was pretty fun in the Pentagon. Yeah. And then Quicksilver tapes some guy up really fast, and that's a lot of duct tape.
Yeah.
And apparently these guards just don't know what each other look like. I guess they never talk to each other. Right? They don't hang out afterwards.
You would think the guy that's feeding Magneto, like you would know what the guy looks like and what his face is.
Yeah.
And coming downstairs.
I mean, you could say like, oh, he's taking over the shift or something.
Yeah, sure, right. Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of like security, and like actually in X-Men 2 there was more security for. I guess they didn't get there yet, but I feel like people would be like, wait, you're not the guy. Where's your ID?
They learned from this movie and from X-Men too. That's why.
So he breaks the glass.
Yeah, in a cool way. Does a little
vibrations.
Vibrates it, and I like the whiplash. He's like, I got over your head for whiplash.
Whiplash.
Speeds into the elevator. Meanwhile, Charles and Wolverine are trying to get the kitchen staff out. Yeah. And they're like, we're from the CBI.
Yeah, it's like every letter of the alphabet.
Wolverine just starts beating people
up. We're going to do it my way. I like when they get into the elevator and Quicksilver's like, what'd you do, man? What'd you do, man? What'd you do, man? What'd you do, man? Killed the president.
Like a true child.
And then he looks at the guy all duct taped and he's like,
but then he says like, my mom used to know a guy who could move metal.
Yeah.
And Magneto's just like,
yeah. Where do you live, kid?
He's like, I didn't wrap it up.
Shit.
We weren't doing it as much in the 60s. Okay, we've all seen Austin Powers. He didn't know what condoms were. Only sailors use them. Not in the 90s, Austin. Well, they should. Those filthy bastards. They go from port to port.
Huh.
Austin Powers review coming one day. I don't know when.
I'm actually surprised you haven't done that yet.
I actually really am too.
Yeah.
I really am. So he gets out of the elevator. Charles just starts beating the shit out of Magneto, which is pretty fun.
Kind of good.
And I like that Magneto doesn't know that Charles doesn't have his powers. So the guards come and he's like, all right, freeze him, Charles. And he's like,
do your thing, man.
And do your thing. And then Magneto's like, don't worry, buddy. Under a lot of stress.
I got this.
I'm going to make all the knives in here just slit all their throats. I'm like, no! So then this is like the ultimate Quicksilver scene. And like scenes like this have been done in the past, but like this was the coolest it had ever been done to this point.
Yeah.
Where he's playing the Time in a Bottle song and he's going around. He's just like manipulating everything.
It's known as like one of the best speedster scenes in all of cinema and all of
They've tried to imitate it. Flash tried to imitate it in Justice League. They tried to imitate it in the Sonic movie. Yeah. Maybe they did it again in Sonic 2. I'll never watch Sonic 2, so I don't know.
Seen it. Love James Marsden though.
Huh?
Is James Marsden in Sonic?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I love him.
Well, did you love him in the Jerry Seinfeld Pop-Tart movie?
I did watch that movie.
I reviewed
Boy,
it.
was that you reviewed it?
Yeah, I reviewed it with Adam. Yeah.
Boy, was that fun.
Why did something bad happen?
It's a little.
No, it's just Jerry Seinfeld. I respect him. Watch our episode, but long story short,
I watched the movie. I just thought something happened during the review that
you
was
like
bad.
it?
Oh, no.
Like
It's just, it became clear during that movie. It's like, he got a mountain of money and he made a movie that only he would like, which I respect if you're
if you can do it.
If you're a millionaire and you have the pull to do it, I would love to make a big stupid movie that only I would enjoy. It's just not entertaining to watch.
They do say, write what you know.
I'm sure Jerry watched it and went, perfect. And it's like, yeah, but I'm watching it and I'm going, this really fucking sucks.
That's his directorial debut, right?
Yes.
That's the first movie he
yes.
ever
Also,
directed.
James Marsden did have a little bit of a cancellation right before it came out, but tied to that HBO documentary about Nickelodeon. Anyway, you got included. I didn't watch it.
Sorry, Jimmy.
He stops all the guards from killing them. It's pretty fun. Really
Pretty
great.
cool.
But then they thank Peter and they're like, all right, that was great, dude. Get the fuck out of here. Take my car. We're getting on the jet, not the Blackbird.
You think they could have used him for, maybe when they get to the spot where they find Mystique, maybe just run in, grab her, and run her out? That would help.
This really is like the Undead Army Return of the King. It's like, can you use them just one more time?
He can't come with
one more time?
He can technically run to where you're going if there's not enough seats on the plane.
Yeah. Yeah, he can meet you there. He can probably solve the problem before you
even get there. Go run Mystique to us. Go out, grab her, and bring her back. Please.
Yeah. Well, it was a school week. They didn't want him to miss class.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's it.
Wait, can he run on water?
How can he?
I'm sure he can, yeah.
The Flash can run on water.
Fasty McFastpants from Eternals can run on water.
Fasty McFastpants.
Is that?
You know what? Now that it's Makari, right?
Right. It's something.
Fucking no.
Yeah.
I only remember because of all the clips of like Barry Keoghan and her.
It was Fasty McFastpants.
Fasty McFastpants.
Judy Eternal. Superman was in the movie.
Wait, he was?
No, it's just he was basically Superman. He flew and shot lasers. Angelina Jolie was Goldilocks.
Dude, you're killing me.
Barry, whatever his name was.
Barry Keoghan.
Oh no,
he was Saltburn. That was his character's name.
That's a solid flick. If you haven't seen that, go watch.
Have I named? There was Tiny Girl. She was SAG. She was tiny.
Tiny Girl. Huh.
Yeah. And then Kumail Nanjiani was there.
Kumail Nanjiani.
Oh, yeah.
He does a little dance number. Kills it.
I couldn't believe the new Super Ghostbusters movie. He was actually funny again.
I haven't seen it.
You don't have to see it. It's not that good. But like, he hasn't been funny in 10 years. And then he made me laugh in that movie. I'm like, oh yeah, he used to be funny.
He's a funny
now
guy.
he just bitches a lot ever since he got muscles. Is that going to happen to me? Should I stop working out?
Stop working out.
You already bitch a lot.
No, Tony, you're going to get so shredded.
So if I'm already bitching a lot. Okay.
You're already there.
Or bitching times 10. I don't know.
Well, I bitch more.
Stop lifting all those weights,
more.
Tony.
You're right. I'm going to stop. I'm going to get fat again. Thanks, Frank. I'll thank you.
My favorite are people that are like, I don't really work out because, like, I don't want to get too big. I don't want to get too muscular. It's like,
no, that means they don't want to go to the gym.
All right. Yeah.
I never use that excuse because it's a real easy one to look at.
And you're super muscular.
No one's going to believe that. Charles and Magneto, they argue about how much they lost during the war. And he's just like, I lost my students. He's like, I lost my polycule, my weird poly. I don't know, because it's implied that Mystique was hooking up with Azrael, but she was also hooking up with Magneto. And Magneto looked like he had the hots for Emma Frost. I think they were all getting along.
I mean,
it was the 70s.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a different time.
It would be sad to lose your swinger group, and I sympathize with Magneto.
Yeah. This damn war, I must kill all humans. I can't swing anymore.
Key parties aren't as exciting anymore. And the plane almost crashes. You think Magneto would be smart enough to maybe not use his powers while the plane is flying?
That's pretty, yeah. I mean,
and I like Beast being like, "Hey, could you not?"
Oh,
Guys,
dude,
don't make me turn this plane around.
Yeah. So yeah, in Paris, the Vietnamese are hanging out with the French, and they're like, "Yeah, we beat America at the war."
Was there subtitles for your? There's no subtitles. For
Okay,
well,
the Row cut, I had subtitles. The theatrical cut, there were no subtitles.
Right? Yeah.
Well, the road cut that I definitely got legally did not have subtitles. I had to keep reminding myself, if I get a movie that has other languages, the very legal websites I go to usually don't have subtitles, so I gotta remind myself of that.
That's horrible, Tony.
Human Centipede was a little rough. I had to ask Lauren Soda. I'm like, what did they say in that scene?
You don't want to know.
My version didn't have that.
Shit.
But they're like, yeah, this is great. We beat America. We're going to sign the peace accords. Yeah. Awesome.
We beat the American Devils, basically.
Yeah.
General, don't drink so much. We have something to do.
Yeah. And then Mystique is flirting in her Jennifer Lawrence form. And then she chokes him out with her foot.
I do like, though, when the guy is just like, clothes off.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's one way to seduce a person, I guess.
Oh, that works?
You like that? Oh, no, don't text her.
Let me open up. Okay.
Tinder.
Hey, clothes off.
Tony's going to get a foot to the neck.
Hold on, I just got an email. Your Tinder account has been suspended. That didn't work, guys.
Oh, no.
You know, I've had a lot of accounts get suspended or deleted lately. I'm really playing with fire. Hopefully it's back now, but I had a nice 7-day Twitch suspension. That was fun. Because
what did you do?
I interviewed the director of Shoot 'Em Up.
Saw that.
Okay.
And I talked about the Monica Bellucci sex scene, and I had a censored photo of the sex scene that didn't show boobs. Twitch decided that was explicit sexual content.
You creepy motherfucker.
And then I contested it, and they went, "Reject it, you pervert." I'm like, oh, great.
Wait a minute. It didn't have boobs, so you got kicked?
It didn't have boobs.
So
I guess we just had the still up on screen too long.
It was just enough.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was funny because it happened live because I had the Twitch chat and it disappeared. And then the guy's just like, "Did I talk too long?" I'm like, "Oh, no, sorry. I was distracted. My Twitch just got suspended." You never know what'll happen on a live episode.
People just look for Hack the Movies and they're like, delete it. Get rid of it.
Done. Block.
Okay. It was revealed that Kennedy was a mutant.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that excuses him for the Bay of Pigs fiasco. But Kennedy was a mutant.
What do you think his powers were?
Well, it definitely wasn't bulletproof head. Oh, no. Unfortunately.
Wow. Okay.
If there was ever a power he needed, that would have been the one.
Maybe he faked his death.
Yeah. Yeah, what would be his power? You know what it is?
Mm-hmm.
He's the great-grandfather of...
His powers are being a great
No.
grandfather.
No.
Pretty good.
No. He's the great-grandfather of a girl who can make text show up on a page. That was his power that he passed down to her from X-Men 3.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Don't goldfish me right now.
She doesn't remember again.
They went that powerful.
I'm just trying to understand like how he had the power of just doing that. Like
someone caught him. They were like, he went to sign that bill, but he didn't use a pen. We have to kill him.
How did he do it? Oh, shit.
It's the worst mutant ever. We found out she had a name.
Oh, I thought it wasn't really confirmed though.
Well, yeah. So apparently it's supposed to be a character named Scribe who could communicate with technology. I feel like they just threw that name on her. It was our favorite character of X-Men 3.
Yeah.
Girl who can make text appear on a page.
That's all she does.
Really?
Like she's really taking notes.
Oh, and it's just appearing.
And it's like, the Dragon software where basically it's like copying stuff for you.
Maybe she was like, the actress just refused to write that day. So they're like, all right, just wave your hand.
Frank, in a world that hates and fears mutants, how do you hide that power? I can't think of any way to hide that power. For the podcast listeners, I'm holding a pen in the air.
Nicely done.
That's like Beast in the first movie. It's like, just wear socks and shut up. No one will notice your feet. Just say you have weird feet. No one cares.
Wear clown shoes.
Huh?
Clown shoes.
Yeah, wear clown shoes. Join the circus. Worked for Nightcrawler for a few years. The next day, Trask is meeting with the foreign generals because he made these weapons. He got to sell it to some country. Even America turned him down.
Yeah.
And he's trying to sell them the Sentinel program. It's like, it's space-age polymers. It has this. It has that. And it even has a mutant detecting device. And this thing couldn't detect a mutant in here because we're all humans. And suddenly it's like, beep, beep. And you can tell Mystique is like, well, I didn't expect that thing to exist.
Like, oh, fuck, oh, fuck, oh, fuck.
He's got one of those?
Yeah. Oh, no. And I like the guy's like, surely it is broken. So she attacks him. And also, I like that Stryker, who was supposed to be working for the military, is also just letting this company sell things to foreign governments. That's fun.
No, but he says, they explain earlier in the movie that he's like private.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess he went.
Really the government.
Yeah, because
so I guess
like Mystique says like, you're working for the military or something, and he's like, no, I'm like private.
Yeah.
So he was.
Yeah.
So he was military, then private, and then I guess he goes back to military by the time of X-Men 2. That we're led to believe.
I mean, he can be whatever he wants to be, you know. Maybe he's just lying to everybody just to like, you know, make it seem like, you know, he is.
He wasn't even a military guy in the comics. I think he was a preacher or something.
Really?
Yeah, the God loves, man kills storyline is what X-Men 2 was based off. I think he was like a crazy preacher. But for the movie, they were like, make a military guy. So yeah, they detect Mystique. She tries to kill them, but then Charles and Eric stop her.
Show up. Yeah.
I like that he shoots her with the taser, and then Magneto puts the taser in Stryker.
Yeah.
I thought that was fun. But
He's
then
like,
Logan sees Stryker, and his mind starts to snap. He's like,
He's
ah!
having like a seizure.
Yeah, he's like, oh, that guy sucks.
A
Ah!
little flashback to the past of future days.
Yeah. They realized they couldn't use any footage from X-Men Origins because that was a different Stryker.
Really? Oh yeah.
But yeah, his mind starts to slip, and then Eric decides he's on his own mission. He's all like, well, sorry, we're going to have to kill you so they don't use your DNA.
Yeah, you'd think that he would, like, you know, think about that a little bit more and be like, maybe we shouldn't just be spraying her DNA all over this room right
Also,
now.
they could probably get her DNA from a fresh corpse. Like, was he going to take the body with him? Like, what was he going to do? What?
Yeah.
Why not earn her trust, get her away from
get her out of there.
Save all mutants, and he's just like, nope, gonna kill this
but
one.
I'm gonna have to kill this one. Yeah.
It's a weird, like, say he wants to kill her, fine. It was weird to kill her there. I would have gotten her trust, got her
Somewhere
away
else.
from the public, like in the woods.
Yeah. And then, you know,
And
wrapped
then,
her in
like-
metal and sent her out to outer space.
Okay, that was a little overcomplicated, but yeah, something like that. Something like that.
You need her off the planet, right?
Yeah.
So fucking.
I don't think we have to go to
wrap her up
those
and
lengths. I
see
think you
ya.
just shoot her and put her in a hole or something.
Jesus. Some respect, dude. Send her to outer space. It's cool.
Yeah, because that's way better.
I don't
Probably
know.
see her floating in the Dark Phoenix movie. Like,
She wouldn't even get to outer space. She'd be like burned up in the atmosphere before she got out there.
I don't know.
unless
Maybe.
the shell was really good.
Maybe
Oh,
she'll,
whatever.
Maybe she'll change skins into a star. Or
Okay,
something.
we're really coming up with a lot of ways to kill fucking Mystique. Anyway, so he hits her in the leg as she jumps out a window.
Wow, he bends the bullet just like the JFK.
Yeah, he does. But yeah, so then Magneto and Beast are duking it out. That's a pretty fun fight.
Cool fight.
He uses the big fountain to grab him. Mystique. I like that he like drags Mystique with the bullet in her leg.
Yeah.
That was cool. I think Bryan Singer has a cameo here. I think he's a guy.
I think you're right.
Camera. Meanwhile, 70s Wolverine comes back. And he's like, oh, God, where am I? And I like his reaction to Beast. He's like, what the hell is that? And he tries to tell him, he's like, you're on drugs.
You're on
he's like-
acid. Really good acid.
Like, he's trying to explain it, and then he just like gives up, and he's like, acid. And Logan's just like,
Tripping,
okay.
dude.
And then in the future, his claws come out. And Magneto must have been distracted by a bird or something. Because then Wolverine starts going, ah! And he cuts up Kitty. And then Magneto's like, oh, I'm sorry. Oh. And then Magneto's like,
Magneto's older.
Magneto's like, restrain him. It's like, can't you just do that all the time?
I mean, also, they should have done that in the beginning. Just
Yeah, you would think. I mean, the guy can lift a baseball stadium. You think he could just hold down sheets of metal for the next couple days?
Can you just like tie his claws together?
And
Like, what the fuck?
they're there for like
Yeah.
a couple days, right? That they're
no, I think they're for well, yeah, I guess they had to be there for a while in the road cut.
I understand how the time,
right?
The road cut, that mission that they go on, I'm like, man, how fast is that jet? Because Kitty's there for a while bleeding out.
Their jet's pretty fast, though.
I guess so, yeah.
Their jets.
Nixon is now paranoid, and Trask just happens to be there, and he's like, hey, well, listen, I got this program. I pitched it to that guy over there. And he turned it down, so it's going to cost a little bit more. And Nixon's like,
well, everything. Let's get rid of him.
I do also, and I don't know if this is just in the road cut or something. I do love that they even have like the dogs are really zoned in on watching the news. And Nixon's
they have to keep
office.
cutting to Nixon's dog staring at everything.
Yeah, they're like really like tuned into the news. Like everyone else is watching these screens, and the dogs are too. Like, wow.
Either I missed it, or they, it was a special thing for the road cut. Add the dogs.
More dogs.
The dog cut.
Mystique poses as a human to get help, and the nurse is all like, look at that ugly blue lady. If I was her, I'd want to kill myself. And Mystique's like, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. It's
really, hate to be that guy.
Did you imagine? Actually, I can.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Oh, and Eric stole the Sentinel like film reel. So he's like stitching himself up or whatever, and he's like looking at the film reel, so he's learning all about the Sentinels and how they operate. Okay, and then Mystique finds him out in public, and she threatens to kill him. And it's like, no, it's too late. Your blood is out there. They got your blood, so the plan's already in effect. And she's like, well, how'd they get my blood? He's like, my bad.
Like, why would you do that, you idiot? Like, okay, well, yeah, I get it now. Maybe we should have just grabbed you and sent you to outer space.
He's like, sorry for trying to kill you, but hey, we got another plan. And she's like, no, I'm not trusting you, you dumb son of a bitch.
I'm still going to kill. I mean, she's a little hard-headed through this movie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
She really wants to kill Trask. Well, he killed her friends.
People are literally telling you that the future is going to be horrible and everybody's going to die, but you just have to kill this one guy. Well,
Magneto says like, well, he's from the future, and she's like, shut up.
Stop with this future bullshit.
What kind of future? We live in a world where tattoos can make you throw up. I don't believe in time travel. Next, you're going to tell me there's a kid who can make text waving their hand, and some kid who changes television channels blinking.
Yeah.
The Magneto's like, those would be the two most powerful mutant in the world.
We
will fear them.
Go back and watch the X-Men 3 review. Me and Monica came up with a whole side story for those two useless mutants.
That's awesome.
They were the ones that were sent to look for Cyclops because they just needed to give him something to do.
Good. Great.
Guys, here's your project.
So yeah, he tells her about everything. He's like, be on my side. She's like, no. And then Charles starts to lose his ability to walk. And Wolverine's like, hey, I know you love legs. We all love legs, but you gotta have some restraint. You can't have legs all the time.
Think of the possibilities you can do with your brain, though.
Yes. We all love doing jumping jacks, but sometimes you got to sit down, Charles. You got to kick this leg addiction. He's like, okay.
But why do you get to have legs?
So he gets back in his chair, and he's like, I'm ready. When they open up the door, they're like, are you ready for this? He's like, no. I thought it was going to be Cerebro, but instead it's the freaking wheelchair. I'm like, okay, that doesn't seem as big of a deal as Cerebro.
Yeah, because then Hank even has a line that's like, are you sure about this? Yeah. And it's like, well, yeah, he already made the decision. So, like, what's so bad about it?
Because I didn't know what Cerebro would look like in this movie, because the first class one got destroyed, and I didn't expect it to look like the regular Cerebro. So I thought he has Cerebro in a closet or something. An early one. And instead, it's just his wheelchair. I'm like, oh.
They made a big deal about that.
Trask has his Sentinels packed up, and he's talking about how like he admires mutants and what they could do, but he's worried about humanity. And I think this is kind of cool that they did make him a little person, because normally he would be discriminated against. He would technically be like a mutant or something, not equal. But he's like, well, now that there's this new thing, maybe humanity will unite to make sure they don't go extinct and get over their petty differences to kill the dirty mutants. I think that's his plan.
God. Let's unite the world together.
Yes. We'll unite those regular humans to get rid of those mutants. I hear some of them have really big tongues, and that scares me.
That scares me. I heard some of them can write by waving their hands.
I can't live in a world where a mutant can walk on water like that one kid did in the first X-Men movie for a second. And I don't want that. I don't want to live in that world.
And they look way too cool sliding down ice all the time. I can't have that guy stealing my ladies.
A man who can make ice and stop like global thirst. Not in my America. Get rid of it. America. We're all gonna unite, Stryker.
Get out of here, cold miser. Was it heat miser and ice?
Yeah, snow miser.
Snow miser. Sorry.
So yeah, they're packing up. They're packing up the Sentinels. It's the first glimpse we get at them. They don't look cool.
Yeah, their CGI is pretty bad.
Yeah, but that's just the design I don't like.
I mean,
I wanted them to look like the big scary guys.
Yeah.
X-Men 3, they had that fake Sentinel, but it was still like the big face, so you can imagine it looked like a regular Sentinel.
Yeah.
This one, they just look like they have little jet engines. And
the jet engines were a little weird.
I don't like them.
Yeah.
And they don't talk. They're not like, human detected. And where was Master Mold, the big Sentinel that makes the Sentinels?
Who?
You really got to rewatch that cartoon.
I gotta rewatch that cartoon.
It's on Disney Plus.
I know.
Spoiler: season 5, the original season 5.
I know.
They cut the budget and they outsourced the animation to like some South American company, and it looks terrible.
Really?
But it leads into X-Men 97, which is great.
When X-Men 97 came out, I went back because I watched it as a kid, but. Yeah. I'm a big DC guy, so like I watch Batman the animated series, Superman the animated series, Young Justice. Like I love watching all those, but I've just never really gone back and rewatched.
They're fun.
Marvel
They're fun.
Stuff.
I mean, Fox Kids sanitized it a little bit, which is why I like 97 feels very in spirit with the original, but like they get to have a little bit of an edge finally.
Yeah.
But no, the original season 5. Like 3 episodes in, it takes a big shift, and you're like, they all look different.
Oh boy!
And they didn't want to pay the voice actors, so every episode only has like 1 or 2 of the X-Men in it. It's really bad. It's really bad.
Shit, I'll check it out.
Anyway, so yeah, packing up the Sentinels, and then Charles uses Cerebro to find Mystique, but he's overwhelmed and it explodes.
Yeah, gets a little crazy. Needs a little pep talk.
And Wolverine is like, read my mind. Yeah. And he's like, okay. And then he watches a highlight reel of the 3 movies. Yeah. And then one scene from
don't read my mind like that.
Yeah. They have one scene from X-Men Origins where his like claws get kicked off. And I thought it was weird that they show that because the 2 previous movies specifically ignored that film. But yeah, he sees all the Jean stuff because of course fucking Wolverine's thinking about Jean.
He's in love. His body's broken, but really his heart is broken. And that's what matters the most.
Yes. And he's like, you poor bastard, you're so sad. And Wolverine's like, yes, and I have so much sadness yet to go through.
Please hug me.
So this is cool. Charles puts himself in future Wolverine's mind, which makes him able to communicate psychically with future Charles.
It's kind of wild, but how's he there? That he like transported himself.
Well, he's like in Wolverine's body and
in his head,
and communicating with older Charles.
Future ones also in Wolverine's head, so they can see each other.
I guess so. Yeah. But it's cool how they shot. They filmed.
I get it.
They said they set up like a bunch of mirrors to make it look like otherworldly, and then they're like filming reflections through mirrors. For this, it's got like a real dreamlike feel to it.
Yeah.
And Charles gives himself a pep talk.
Yeah, which is
the best way to do it.
He's like, you got to do this. There's a lot of good that'll happen. Then you see like what the school could look like in the future.
Stick with it, kid.
Yes.
You're going to go far. Stick with it, kid.
And you're technically in the future right now. You want to give yourself a pep talk to finish this review?
Why don't you go into my brain and talk to you in the future in 2025?
I'm doing it. Future Frank. Talk to future Tony. I need a pep talk from my future self.
All right, let me get him.
Okay.
Hold on, wait. Yep, here he is.
Okay, I'm talking to my older me. You look great, by the way.
He said, dude, awesome. We're going to get so buff.
Oh, we are? Cool. Okay. All right, great.
Stick with it, kid. You're going to go far.
So you got to do what future me said. I learned a lot of stuff. He left out everything about you, apparently.
Oh, that's
right. I asked. I'm like, anything about Monica? He's like, I don't have time.
Not important.
Oh, shit.
He was like, Monica? Dan's old wife. He said that. I don't know. I guess something.
Okay, so you're telling me my husband gets remarried.
Jesus.
I didn't say he gets remarried.
You said his old wife. Like, you made it sound like he's got a new wife.
Because it's the future and you're older now.
I should have never started with this joke.
See how I turned that back around?
I'm going back to 2025.
Okay.
I asked how Trisha was. She ran for office in Italy.
Yeah, yes, she did. She
did.
She got lost again in the Italian woods.
She said she's going to be Berscoloni Part 2. That famous Italian politician.
Okay. All right. That's good.
Again, she won't watch this episode, so I can do those jokes.
We should watch this in a year.
All right. So pep talk. It's always good to get a pep talk from your future self.
Yeah.
He hacks into the Sentinels with railroad tracks.
There's a lot of plot holes in this film, and like when you're watching it, it kind of just like you're just like, okay,
well, no,
like that's happening, and I am enjoying the movie. But really, when you go back and review it, you're kind of like, with metal.
That's not a plot hole. That's stupid. Because it's like, well, you would have to always be manipulating the metal for it to be malleable. Once you stop using your power, they're gonna block up, right?
Or go back to killing the mutants and stuff. So it's like,
so he splinters it into little thread. I guess he's cutting it up enough to go into them, but are people not going to be like, why are these heavier now? Like, why are they moving awkward? It's almost as if they are carrying too much weight.
I mean, I guess he's reprogramming them, or do you think he's just putting it in there so that he can now control it the way he wants?
That I get that he's putting metal in them so he can use their bodies.
Yeah.
But you're right. How is he reprogramming the computers? Because he's able to give them orders later and it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's a little,
I guess he learned in that film reel and they just didn't have time to explain it. So
there's a rogue cut.
It's actually funny. In Days of Future Past, Kitty gets attacked by a gang of humans who are also they don't they're normal humans, but they hate the robots and they hate mutants, and they're called the Rogues. So that's the only it's the only rogue that's in the original one, because she didn't get created till late 80s, I think. So yeah, Kitty is dying, which a little bit of that is in the theatrical cut, but then this is where it gets different.
Oh,
because Bobby's like,
she's really dying.
Bobby's like, I know one person who could do it.
He just happens to remember that she exists.
He's like my old girlfriend, Rogue. And then Charles is like, she has to be dead by now.
Yeah, not using his powers at all to figure out where the fuck she's been.
Well, they explain it. It's like, no.
She just comes out of nowhere?
No, he says he's like, no, we have intel. She's being held. Well, it's weird that Charles couldn't read anyone else's mind to learn that, but she is being held in Cerebro, where he can't penetrate.
Oh.
Yeah, at the mansion. The mansion's been overtaken. They're in there. They're like, we tried to save her before, but it's impenetrable.
And she's being experimented on.
Yes.
So this whole time she's been
I think that is where
and experimented on, and that's kind of where the Sentinels get their the powers where they can copy other mutants' abilities.
Rogues. Okay, it makes sense.
Yeah, so I guess they use her mutant DNA.
They left that out with cutting out her whole storyline, and I was like, it makes sense.
They just didn't want to.
I mean, you could just assume that is what happened.
I know, but
we
make a big deal about Mystique, and they're using
it's
powers,
more. Yeah, you're right.
They're using Rogue's powers too.
Hers aren't good enough.
When they did reshoots, there should have been at least a line. About they combine it with Rogue's absorbing power.
Agreed. That would have made sense. Yeah. I guess they cut it because they didn't want 2 prison breaks in one movie.
I guess so.
Do they break her out of prison?
We're getting there.
Okay. Oh, wow. This is getting good.
So the new plan is to break her out of the mansion. Charles is like, I know things about that mansion they don't, secret ways in.
There's porn stashes.
Yeah, the porn stash. It's by the porn stash. And Magneto's like, yes, I see.
I remember.
Magneto's like, it's just pictures of legs.
You ripped up the tops of the bodies.
I really had a fetish once I had my injury.
Sorry.
They're gonna get Rogue, bring her back to China. So they have to fly to upstate New York, bring her back to China.
And it's just Magneto, Charles, and Iceman that go.
Yes.
Okay.
Obviously, Charles is in the jet. He does not go on the actual mission with them.
I mean, they shouldn't take Magneto because who's going to hold down Logan's arms,
Well,
I guess they restrained him at that point.
Again. Oh, yeah, I guess they did.
Back in the past, Charles is getting random people to talk to Mystique. And he's like, will you just come home already? Come on. But apparently she's able to resist him because I guess she had some psychic training and he's not 100% yet. Yeah. So she tries, but she's like, no, I have my mission. Get out of here.
Yeah, she really,
Yeah. Now,
doesn't want to listen.
This next exchange happens in your cut, but in our cut, it happens earlier. Wolverine's in bed smoking. He's just smoking a cigar. And Beast comes in. He's like, hey, I know you're probably not allowed to talk about this or anything, but in the future, do I die?
Yeah.
And he goes, nope. Or he goes, he says, do I make it? And he goes, no.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, but that's just one future.
Yeah.
I guess they really like that line, and they moved it to the battle at the end, like right before they go into battle.
Oh, so he says it, just not in.
Yeah,
okay.
they move.
So not the scene, the line, like literally just the line. They
they must have really liked that exchange, and they're like, all right, we're cutting that scene, but we're gonna move that dialogue to a different scene.
Gotcha.
So it's like during the White House attack.
I thought you meant they were attacking the White House, and then all of a sudden it's just Hank and Logan.
No. The dialogue.
He's like, hey, do I die?
So yeah, I thought that was a fun exchange. Mystique then shows up at the mansion. This is not in your cut.
No.
I think
it's also another very quick plane ride.
Yeah, apparently.
Gotta get places fast, you know what I mean?
So yes, she shows up at the mansion. She gets Hank to help her with the bullet in her leg. And then, I didn't know about this, they just start rekindling their relationship from first class.
Yeah.
She just jumps up on top of him. He's like he's a full-on Jennifer Lawrence butt grab in there.
With Hank?
Yeah.
Not Professor X?
No.
Huh.
Beast and did I say Charles in accident?
Yeah, no.
Oh, I thought you said Charles in
I'm sorry,
accident.
I knew who you were talking about, so it skipped over my
But there's
head.
like a little bit of romance with Professor X at one point in the movie.
No,
or is it more like a sister
That was
thing?
more of a sister
That's
thing.
my sister, dude.
Yeah.
Like Joe Dirt. You're my sister. You're my sister. You're my sister. Do you want to go back to me being your sister? No. What do you think I would? No.
Anyway, Joe Dirt. That's another one I got to do one day.
That's awesome.
So yeah, they start like making out. He goes beast mode. She goes blue mode.
Whoa.
And then, Mystique is a jerk. She's like, hey, remember when you said no one would find me pretty in my blue form? And it's like, wow, women really love to bring shit up from the past. It's like, yeah, I remember saying that 10 years ago, Mystique. Thanks for reminding me.
Well, you obviously like it now if you're all over me,
like,
baby.
Do you like me now? He's like, you're beautiful. It's like, yeah, but do you think you're beautiful? He's like, all right, I'm fucking done. He gets up. He's like, I feel like I'm not going to win. He's like, all right, well, nice seeing you again.
Damn.
Don't sabotage Cerebro while you're here.
Huh, that's the
She
road
sabotages Cerebro while they're there. That's why they're not able to find her for the rest of the film.
Also, I like that Charles doesn't know she's there.
No, he's sleeping. They said, I'll go wake the professor up. And she goes, no, don't do that.
So wait, he still doesn't... I thought, like, that would wake him up.
Well, look, X-Men 1, he didn't know Mystique was pretending to be Iceman, and she poisoned Cerebro.
Oh.
Man, that must have been really hard for Mystique to do, to kill her brother. Because she was clearly not his sister in the original film. It was weird hearing Patrick Stewart go, she was like a sister to me. And I really wanted Wolverine or any of the X-Men there to go, what? You never brought that up.
You have a sister? Huh?
Wolverine was like, when you were telling me who all the bad guys were, you never said, oh, and my sister Mystique.
Yeah. Huh.
So yeah, she sabotaged Cerebro.
And they cut that. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like that's something that you should like.
I guess maybe they just had that line where he said, she's blocking me out and I'm not strong enough. I guess that was explanation enough for it.
Okay.
So then in the future, Magneto is sneaking into the mansion. I kind of like this. So in your version, Magneto breaks into that facility to get his helmet out.
Yeah.
In this version, it's constantly being intercut with older Magneto breaking into the mansion and like taking things out. It's like cut back and forth. So it's actually really cool.
I like that.
Yeah, I didn't know that that's how that scene worked for like the longest time. So seeing it, I'm like, oh, that's cool. They really flow together really well. So yeah, they happen to show up right as they're about to cut Rogue open.
Wow, what timing?
Yeah, that was the day we're like, we don't need Rogue anymore.
They also don't really have a lot of people at this facility.
Yeah.
I guess because they took a back way, all the Sentinels are probably outside. They're probably like, no one will ever break in here.
But like even experimenting on her, there's like 2 people.
There should be one guy with a gun, maybe. There should be a Sentinel in the room.
And they're looking at each other like, are you the guy with the gun? No. Are you the guy with the gun?
The weird thing is they let them live. They let the doctors leave. Like Magneto doesn't just kill them.
Huh.
And you can say like Bobby's there and he's an X-Man, but it's like, no. If they're in the heart of the mutant killing thing,
this is war.
Sparing their life isn't really going to do much. You got to kill these guys right now because I'm pretty sure they're the ones that call the Sentinel in like a minute.
Yeah.
It is kind of cool to see the X-Mansion like all torn apart. Like you can tell they like put their own stuff in.
Yeah. I gotta watch.
By the way, I'm pretty sure the mansion. Oh no, they needed Cerebro to block his mind. Never mind. Because I was like, the mansion had a hospital. Why are they doing the surgery in Cerebro? It didn't make sense, but now I just explained it. They escape. The Sentinels are attacking them, and then Bobby dies here.
Bobby dies?
Yes.
Well, okay, just remember, Bobby did die in the beginning of the movie, too.
Yes.
Yeah. and again at the
end.
Yeah.
But here he dies.
Spoilers.
Yeah, he dies right here.
Huh. So then he doesn't die again at the end?
No. No,
unless they're like, oh shit, did we cut that or not?
I don't know if they use the same animation when he died. I gotta watch the theatrical cut now because I forget how exactly he died in that.
You got the toasted.
Oh, he gets toasted in this. So but I wonder if they just changed the background or if they did it over completely.
Yeah, correct.
And Rogue is very sad because she just woke up and saw her boyfriend who left her
die,
and now he died.
No.
And then I'm sitting there and I'm just like, well, clearly this is an older Rogue. I'm sure she got those Captain Marvel powers. She did not get the Captain Marvel powers.
She's been tortured this whole time.
Well, I was hoping at some point during the war she would have got the super strength in flight.
Hopefully she was like, well, this is fine. Kitty Pryde's going to send us back in the past, in the future, on the days, and, we're going to see him again, baby.
But it's a fun scene.
I'm just trying to figure out every way I can word Days of Future Past. Yeah,
and the whole time Charles is in the jet giving them instructions. But then a Sentinel jumps on the jet, and Charles is like, I'm a badass. And he's flipping the jet around.
Sweet.
And he throws the Sentinel off and cuts its arm off. The arm is still on the jet. That will come back later.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
They tracked him.
Yep.
Wow.
If you're wondering how they find him in the theatrical cut, that is how
I wasn't aware. Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't really need it. You just be like, they figured it out.
They track the mutants.
Yeah, but no, in this one, it's because the hand is stuck on the ship and it sends a signal to the other Sentinels.
That would have been nice to know, other than just Sentinels just, find them in this big old world eventually.
Well, they did have all the lights on in that building, and someone's going to find them eventually.
They weren't really
and there are a bunch of mutants standing outside like this. Oh.
It's pretty dark.
Where are the X-Men? The leather daddies over there? I'm pretty sure that's them.
We all shouldn't just be standing outside like assholes.
Okay, but you're acting like they're surrounded by other homes and villages, and they're pretty much on a cliff
I guess so, yeah.
with nothing around them.
It's kind of crazy.
So yeah, now there's a scene. Oh yeah, this is the scene of Mystique destroying Cerebro in the past. Kitty doesn't take the death of Bobby too well.
No.
She's like, oh, God. And then Rogue's like, yeah, that's good, you fucking home wrecker. And she takes her powers.
She's like, I'm happy he's dead.
Which, by the way,
fuck him.
I misremembered. I thought she killed Kitty to get her powers permanently. Because remember, Rogue only gets your powers for a little bit. I guess it depends on the writer how long she gets the powers. But
I think she can hold on to them for a while.
Maybe, but in the movie version, she only holds them for a few minutes at a time. She doesn't have them forever. Unless it depends on how long she's holding. But I don't think she held on.
Maybe her powers have grown.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, maybe she doesn't have to hold on as much anymore. Yeah. And she doesn't say sugar.
She doesn't.
Just one sugar would have been nice. Just one.
She usually say sugar.
Yeah, she's got the southern accent.
Oh, she does.
She is southern in these, but she doesn't.
That's right. I forgot. It's been a while since I watched the other ones.
Yeah.
Sugar.
God, that fucking Genosha. I texted you in that Genosha episode.
I know, that was.
I was like, holy shit. Sorry, it's no spoilers.
No, you're good.
Episode.
Yeah.
Talk about an episode that's
sad.
But it starts off real fun and cheery, and it takes a dark turn.
I'll text you guys when I watch.
There's a twist, and you're like, wow, that's rough. Definitely won't get worse than this. And then there's an even bigger twist, and you're like, oh my God.
Dear Lord.
Yeah, and then it leads up. It leads up to something that happens at the end.
Am I happy at the end?
No, something that happens at the end.
No, but am I happy by the end of it, or am I
by the end of the show?
Yeah.
By the end of the show.
By the end of the episode. You're saying the episode.
Oh
is
no,
shocking.
you will not be happy at the end of the episode.
No.
I mean, it depends on how much you like certain characters, but you're not going to be happy at the end of that episode.
Right.
But
do they fix it by going back in time?
No. A guy is there from the future to stop, and he does not.
Doesn't help.
Yeah. So Rogue is like, get out of here, home wrecker. I'm taking your powers, and not your man.
I don't need your man.
And I like
dead
that
anyway.
I like that in the past, Wolverine wakes up and he goes, Rogue? Like he sense her now. So they investigate Cerebro. They're like, she fucked it up. And then Hank's like, look, I was able to monitor all 3 major networks and PBS. He's very specific about it, and PBS.
And Logan's just like, Oh, wow. All 3 channels.
Wow.
He's like, yes, and PBS. They find out about the presentation that they're doing with the Sentinels, and they're like, oh, shit, if she kills him there on camera, that's going to be really bad.
For the world to see.
We got to stop that from happening.
We got to get back down to Washington, D.C. You know that they drove to Washington, D.C., came all the way back up, and now they're driving all the way back down again? It's a lot.
Well, they do have that jet.
Well, I guess the jet, they take the jet back down the next time.
Yeah. So Hank thinks time can't be changed. He's like, is this a fixed point in time? And Charles is like, I don't want to believe that because that doesn't benefit me. So we're not going with that plan. And then the road cut is when you see the hand on the ship sending the signal to the other Sentinels. Wolverine begs past Charles to find the real X-Men that people actually like. Yep. He's like, Charles, you need to find Storm, Cyclops, Nightcrawler, if Bryan Singer ever reveals why he had a falling out with that actor. You got to find Jean Grey.
Definitely Jean Grey.
Yeah, he pauses.
And me.
He's like, Jean.
Maybe you find Jean, then me, and hold off on finding Scott for
Yeah. You know what? Forget about him.
Yeah. And then he goes, and then Charles, I need you to wait just a few more years so everyone forgets my first spinoff, and I need you to find a new Gambit. I hear Channing Tatum's really good. He could be the new Gambit, and I'm sure that movie will come out in 2018.
I honestly forgot
He just hasn't found him yet.
That there was Gambit in the X-Men
X-Men
movie.
Origins.
Yeah.
Taylor Kitsch.
I completely forgot about that.
They were really trying to make him a thing for years.
I mean, who, Taylor Kitsch or Gambit?
Yeah.
Taylor Kitsch.
I mean, he's a good actor.
No, he is, but they
the
thought
Waco series was really good. What's the one army one that he's in? Is that
I forget.
With Mark Wahlberg. Is he in that one?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But they
awesome.
were trying to make him, give him that John Carter movie, the Battleship
Carter,
movie. They really were pushing that guy, and he's good. He's fine.
Yeah.
But he wasn't like the big guy they thought he was going to be.
I was a stand-in for 21 Bridges. Is it 21 or did they change it to 17? Or was it 17?
It was 21.
They changed it to
21.
Because it was originally 17, and I guess somebody miscounted Bridges every year. And I was like, okay, all right. I was like, I know I worked on a movie called 17 Bridges. What's 21 Bridges? And then I was somebody else's stand-in that he was working with that day, and I was in the room kind of talking to him with him a little bit. He's a really nice guy. So, he wouldn't remember me at all, but he's a really nice guy.
You said you're glad Channing Tatum never played Gambit.
Something like that. I was wearing the same exact thing that the main actor was wearing, right? Yeah. And, it's a very serious scene. It's like they have to beat up my guy and this and that and whatever. But then I turned to my guy that I'm the stand-in for, and I'm like, wow, I like your threads, man. Where'd you get them? And Taylor Kitsch looked at me like, you fucking... And I was like, I guess I'm not funny. Okay. It was the first time I ever did stand-in work, and it was the last.
Okay, well, look, you know what? Did you make it in the movie?
And stand-in, I'm behind the scenes.
Oh.
It's literally, It's.
I mean, like, they don't show you, like, from behind or anything? Or?
No. That's photo.
Okay, because I was supposed to be a stand-in for Jackson Rathbone in The Last Airbender.
Oh.
And we all agree that his stand-in was the worst part of that movie, and that's why it failed. No other reason. And
we're going to blame it all on that.
Yeah, we're going to blame it on that.
Nice.
Anyway.
I was actually the stand-in for Dave Pavinsky. Is his name? Yeah, super nice guy.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't.
He plays like a store owner or something in that. But yeah, really,
I didn't see the movie, nice so that doesn't help.
I didn't watch it either, but I know that they miscounted Bridges.
Okay. Anyway.
All right.
Back to X-Men.
Yeah.
Do you think Channing Tatum's going to be Gambit in Deadpool 3?
I feel like we just had this conversation. I do.
He was a weird casting choice. I don't know why they picked him.
You don't like him?
I like him enough. I just don't like him as Gambit.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like Taylor Kitsch was a good casting. It's just that movie was garbage.
Yeah.
But I just never saw Channing Tatum as Gambit. I thought that was weird. But
I mean, he's got it because he's been rumored to play Gambit for so many years. Like,
well, that was before the Disney thing. There's that famous picture. Everyone makes fun of the Dark Universe picture with Tom Cruise and Johnny Depp for the Mummy spinoff series.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But there was another picture. It was Channing Tatum, the 2015 Fantastic Four, and the cast of X-Men Apocalypse. They're like, Fox is going to have their own MCU, and it's going to be us. That didn't happen. Didn't happen. They all got canceled.
I don't know. There's kind of like a great big world going on with Madam Web in those movies.
Commentary track from Adam Webb out now. Are you excited for after Craven? We're doing what is the worst Sony Spider-Man spinoff? Are you excited?
I am excited.
Ooh, that's exciting.
When is this Craven coming out again?
They moved it actually. I think they moved it to November or something. Craven? So we have to wait for Venom 3 and Craven to come out, and then we'll do what is the worst of those.
Cool.
Okay.
Good luck.
I'm very excited.
Venom 3 is
I'm
going
gonna
to
have
be
to
awesome.
watch a lot of
Shitty
mediocre
movies?
Yeah.
It's all right. You can say
Craven. Craven is my favorite Spider-Man villain. I always wanted to see him in a movie fighting Spider-Man. I didn't want to see
You
just
can't
him.
get everything you want.
Huh?
You can't get everything you want.
I mean, maybe there's some kind of man spider in
Listen,
it.
Monica, I think Spider-Man villain fighting Spider-Man is
so mad.
the bare minimum to ask for a movie.
He's so angry right now. He can't even speak.
Anyway. Okay, back to this movie that we're talking about.
Yep.
The Sentinels make their way to the base, and Magneto goes to join the X-Men to stop them in the future.
Yeah.
I like that Wolverine finally walks through a metal detector, and it doesn't go off, and he's like, "Ha,
Kind of funny.
cool."
Little callback to the first one.
Very good. And then everyone at the White House gets ready for the presentation, and Charles is like scanning everyone's brain. He's like, are you Mystique?
Gotta
Are you
find her.
Mystique? Are you Mystique? Are you Mystique? Oh, the theatrical cut, I don't think has that scene of him with the other injured.
No.
So there's a scene with him with like a bunch of injured veterans.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he gets
That's
like
where
put
they,
up
like, sit
next
him?
to them, and I'm like, oh,
I can see
like
why
you're in a wheelchair, but you
You're
didn't
not a veteran.
fight in the war.
Yeah.
I see why they might have cut that. But yeah, they're like, how did you get your injury? And he went, friendly fire.
Damn, dude. Stolen valor.
Yeah, stolen valor.
Fuck. Professor
Stolen
X,
valor,
man.
Charles.
And why it was cut.
Although Mystique
Yeah.
is just turning into multiple military men, so that's all. That's
Yeah,
multiple
yeah.
stolen valor. The Sentinels get revealed. Everyone's happy about them, and then Magneto lifts up an entire stadium.
He does. God.
Yeah.
I do think it's funny that everyone gets excited about the Sentinels. Like, if I was there, I'd be like, what the fuck?
I kind of don't want to be
What?
around these things.
Yeah.
What are these big giant
shit.
robots? Like, what is going on?
Why are they armed?
Why should they be
presentation.
armed? I guess you're right.
That happens all the time in these movies. That happened in
It's
like
kind of weird.
Iron Man 2. It's like, wait, why are the drones armed? And then I did RoboCop
Yeah.
2 recently.
I don't
They're trying
trust
to show
these.
off. They're trying to show off RoboCop 2 in that movie, and he goes crazy. He tries to kill her. I'm like, why did they put bullets in him for the presentation? Doesn't make any sense.
It's kind of crazy. Also, the stadium picks up the baseball stadium
Yeah.
because baseball in America, and he's trying to show America and
Yeah.
the world that we can not kill mutants. And
I love his interaction
be
with the
better.
little
There's,
like
some kind of
field guy.
Oh yeah. Do you need any help? No.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Charles freezes Mystique. Oh, back to the stadium. Second best stadium scene in the superhero film.
Of course
okay.
he would do that.
Shazam?
Charles freezes
Shazam?
Huh?
Shazam when they fight
No,
in the
not
baseball field?
Shazam 2. That's the third best
No,
one.
dude, that's the best, man. When they fight in the Citizens Bank Park, bro.
Yeah, my cousin, my brother-in-law texted me. He's like, I don't know what Shazam is, but apparently they fight in Citizen Banks Park. He saw the trailer. I'm like, oh yeah, it's kind of fun. You might like it.
Dragons, bro. So what's the first one?
Shazam. Oh no.
See, it is Shazam.
No, the first best stadium scene is The Dark Knight Rises, you asshole.
Oh wow! I totally forgot that they had that.
The
in that
Batman movie that I am in, that I didn't get cut out of. Anyway,
Tony.
wow. Some people get cut out of Batman movies. I don't, but other people do.
I heard it was a smart decision for the film because then everyone would have thought that the guy who did get cut out was actually Bruce Wayne because they were like, oh, that's got to be Bruce Wayne. He
looks
really
just like
looks
him,
like
yeah.
Bruce Wayne. So then, and I understand their decision. It's totally fine.
Anyway, he freezes Mystique to stop her from killing Trask. And then Magneto activates the Sentinels. He's able to make them target just whatever.
Yeah, with metal.
I don't know how I thought
we're not going to question this.
whatever.
We're going to get too far down that.
Yeah,
rabbit
we
hole.
were already
So
there.
they attack the crowd. In the future, Storm is using her powers to knock those big carriers into each other to kill the Sentinels, but they all come out and start flying.
Pretty wild. Yeah.
And then the president in the past makes it to his panic room, but Mystique is in there too. And then this is actually a cool scene. Future Magneto puts the X-Jet in the middle of all the Sentinels, and Storm shocks it with lightning and blows them all up.
That was cool.
But then they have to hide from the shrapnel. I like the Colossus just puts his metal skin on and just lets it hit him. But they're all hiding behind stuff, and Magneto, little overly ambitious, stops all the metal debris except for one piece that got him.
Getting old, man.
Yeah.
He's older, I know.
He's slowing down.
It's rough.
Why isn't he wearing a big metal suit?
Huh. Why is he wearing a leather suit? And
No, he should have a big metal suit.
Yeah. Yeah. Form it around him like he was forming with the door.
Because he can use his power to make it light. He doesn't.
Yeah. Huh.
Magneto.
That would be pretty dope.
What happened to his helmet? Anyway, it's weird. He's
Him and Charles are friends now, so he doesn't need his helmet.
Yeah, he doesn't even read his
A helmet will help you when shrapnel's coming toward your face.
The only reason was because of Charles.
Okay. He does that. It stops the debris. Past Magneto, surrounds the White House with the stadium.
Pretty dope.
Which is cool. And then Storm dies.
She gets kebabbed.
Yes, she does. Because all the Sentinels that fell, they're now just scaling the wall.
Yeah.
Fucking tosses her. They all start to get overwhelmed. Bishop is like, I can absorb energy and shoot it, but that was just too much energy for him to absorb.
Yeah, it didn't work.
And he explodes. And then in your version,
Bobby dies.
Bobby dies here in this version.
I forget. Right?
In this part.
Yeah. I was getting a little tired by this point.
Well,
great film, but
I know for a fact in your version, Magneto goes back into the room and builds the metal wall,
pulling the metal wall with him, and then goes through.
Yes, in this version, he makes the metal wall behind him, and he waits outside like he's going to sacrifice himself. But then Kitty Pryde phases through the wall and brings him back.
That doesn't happen in mine.
No, that doesn't happen in yours. It only happens in this version.
But doesn't Kitty Pryde still phase him through the wall?
No.
He's not pulling the metal, and then she phases him through the walls.
No, because in the theatrical cut, she's still on Wolverine. They never cut her out of that part. So it's only for the Rogue cut she comes in and grabs him.
Why is she not on Wolverine in the Rogue cut?
Because Rogue took her powers to do it.
Oh.
We just talked about this.
Yeah. Sorry.
We explained the whole thing.
You've got 2 goldfishes now.
What the fuck? What's wrong with you? Is that your mutant power? You just make people forget things?
So contagious.
Thank God I'm wearing my magical eagle hat to deflect it.
Because I didn't see it when you guys were talking about it, I think my brain was just fucking just going out to lunch for a little bit. Wow. Okay, sorry.
So then, past Wolverine and Beast get attacked by Sentinels. They're fighting them. That's kind of fun, seeing them slash up some Sentinels.
Yeah.
But this is kind of fun because it's finally a Wolverine that can actually fight Magneto because he doesn't have the metal.
Yeah.
Magneto figures out a way to put metal in him.
Yeah.
He exposes some rebar. And then I like this because the complaint was that these movies are so Wolverine focused. I like that they just throw him away for the final battle.
To outer space.
Both final battles, he's just not present. He gets thrown in the lake. Yeah. The other one, he's sitting on a chair. I'm like, oh.
Kind of like that.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah, because you kind of it's about friendship with Eric and Professor X,
and teamwork,
and they have to rebuild and work together for once. So it's like Wolverine's in the way. It's like Wolverine already taught them lessons through the whole film, and now he's like, well, up to you guys now.
Yeah, and he gets tossed out.
I pass my wisdom on.
Exactly. I'll go drown myself now.
I'm gonna go drown now.
Myself. Yeah.
I can breathe through my skin, I think.
Yeah. How does that? Yeah. That's
but his healing factor is whatever the writer wants it to be. To be honest. So Trask's mutant detector goes off. He realizes Mystique's down there. Before they can do anything, Magneto pulls the bunker out of the ground, out of the White House.
Like one of the coolest Magneto things because you hear the and then just the whole thing. Comes out.
Then he shows off his power to the cameras, and he's like, I'm an asshole and I'll kill all of you. I'm Magneto.
I feel like that's not what he said.
You should be afraid of me. You know what it reminds me of?
No.
Russell from True Blood when he kills the girl on camera and he
ruins.
And
he does that really dramatically.
He ruins vampire sympathy forever. He's like, we'll eat you and your kid. That's basically what Magneto's doing. He's like, you should fear us. We'll replace you.
I'm the metal guy.
And then Nixon confronts. And then as he's doing that in the future, Eric is like, sorry, I was a dick, Charles. I'm glad we got to be friends again after you came back to life.
Yeah.
because you went and scoot up a little bit.
I know.
Because of friendship, though. You know what I mean?
It was very convenient that Charles had, and this isn't our running gag, this is real. Charles just had a twin brother who looked exactly like him that he could be reborn through and make up with him.
Wait, what?
At the end of X-Men 3, it's set up early in the film that there's a guy who's in a coma with no brain functions. At the end of X-Men 3, it's Xavier put his conscience in that guy.
And that looks exactly like him.
Yeah, that looks exactly like him.
Wow.
So you just had a secret twin brother who was brain dead.
Wow.
That I guess they were just holding for years just in case he needed to put his brain
I love
somewhere.
these movies. They're so good.
Anyway. So Nixon confronts Magneto, but it's not really Nixon. It's Mystique.
Yeah.
And Beast uses his serum to get the Sentinel off his tail. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But it's to make sure the Sentinel will now attack Magneto and Mystique. It distracts Magneto. I like Magneto's just ripping it apart, and it distracts him long enough for Mystique to shoot him in the neck.
Got him.
And I like, he's like, used to be a better shot. And she's like, no, I did that on purpose.
I'm still a really good shot.
And then she kicks him in the helmet, probably breaks all the bones at her feet doing that.
Probably.
She's good.
I would have kicked him anywhere else.
He's all yours, boys.
So Charles freezes everyone.
Yeah.
And he projects himself. He's like, please do not shoot this tiny little man, please. He tells her, like, if you save these men on camera from another mutant, it will get people to rethink all their fears and everything. But like he did in the last movie, he's like, I'm going to leave the choice up to you. Even though he saw how bad, even though he saw how bad the world gets, he should be like, I'm killing you because I don't want robots to murder everyone.
We are almost dying right now in the future, but I'll let you choose.
Yeah. So she chooses not to kill Trask.
Yeah, nice.
And the future is changed right before everyone almost dies.
Whoo, baby. Who'd have thought? Right there, while the Sentinels are just shooting the fire at him. Yeah.
And I forgot, during this whole climax, past Charles has just been under a bunch of debris. So he controls Eric's mind to get the debris off of him.
Kinda cool.
And then he lets Eric go.
Yeah. Well, they're besties.
And Eric's like, I'm going to continue my mission. And I definitely won't knock up a girl with a child that can talk to deer or whatever.
What?
In X-Men Apocalypse, he gets a wife and a new kid.
Oh.
And I think the kid talks to deer or something.
That's right, dude.
He throws away his whole mission because he knocks up some chick in Germany.
Apocalypse is rough.
Yeah, Apocalypse is
That's a little rough.
I enjoy Apocalypse for a schlocky thing, but it is rough. It is rough.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So yeah, and then okay. No, I skipped ahead. Sorry.
That's okay.
Logan wakes up in the new future.
Yeah.
All the X-Men are alive.
It's beautiful.
Bobby is with Rogue in this future.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Beautiful days.
Beast is back. It's Kelsey Grammer, maybe, or at least it's his voice.
That's Kelsey. Good, no?
I don't know. It's so blurry. It's so blurry. I don't know if he would have done makeup for just one shot. It's very blurry.
I don't know. He loves being Beast.
Well, I know he's Beast in the Marvels.
Whoa, spoilers.
It was spoiled the minute. I still haven't watched it.
That was that was spoiled. The second that movie came out, I saw it everywhere, and I was like,
yeah, you know what's funny?
I was at least gonna watch this film.
Nothing in that movie was spoiled for me other than that.
Yeah,
I don't know who the
same
bad
thing.
guy is.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens in the film. I know nothing about Nick Fury, but I know Beast shows up at the end.
It's another rough one.
But it's a CGI Beast now. Yeah. So yeah, Beast is back. I guess Kitty and Colossus might be dating because I know they do in the books.
In the comics, yeah.
And then Storm's there.
Yeah,
sure.
He's alive again, yeah.
And Jean is back. And Wolverine is like, please, in this timeline, can she not be with Scott? And of course, she's still with Scott. And he's got cool future glasses.
Yeah.
He's a pretty cool guy.
Pretty cool.
He's
cool.
Smooth.
But now he gets the chance to cuck Scott all over again. He'll get it right this time.
Can't believe Scott left him.
How many timelines? How many timelines does he have to go through?
But
in what universe are you not trying to bang my girl?
Yeah. Well, that was the rough part of X-Men 97. It's like, oh, there's a second Gene. This is good for him. And then it goes, oh, no.
Gotta watch it.
This is the same problem as the original Back to the Future. It's like, wait, so his conscience from the previous timeline is now in this timeline. But it's like, but the Wolverine from that timeline is now dead. Much like the Marty McFly from the new 1984 must have died. And he has no memories of this current timeline's family or anything.
Wait, what do you mean he's dead?
Because,
well, like,
so in Back to the Future, right?
He's in his old body.
It's the same thing as this. So Marty McFly and Wolverine, they have all their memories from their timeline.
Yeah.
But they now have... Huh?
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
I can see how you might struggle with this. But now they're in a new timeline.
Yeah.
And the body that they're in has had its own experiences, its own memories, but they've now overwritten it. So they've essentially killed that version of themselves in that timeline and taken over.
No.
Okay.
Now, Wolverine is lucky. He can have Professor X just do some psychic stuff. But Marty McFly's got to be like, I don't know who any of my friends are in this universe. And my brother is talking about stories that I never experienced.
I mean, technically, yes, you just don't remember that the other universe really happened. So, like,
no, he does remember. That's the problem.
I'm saying everybody else. So everyone else is also.
Yeah, but like you
dead.
wouldn't be able to like fit in because you didn't experience the stuff in this new timeline.
That's why he sees Professor X and he's like, "Can you please fill me in?"
Yeah, so I guess
is Gene banging me in this universe?
So I guess Professor X can merge both his brains, but poor Marty McFly's got nothing.
Yeah.
Help with what?
Pretty much everything after 1973.
This is stupid. I think this was added in post. They show Stryker digging up Wolverine out of the lake, but then it's Mystique.
Yeah.
I don't really dig in a lake though.
Well, you know what I mean. Lifting him out of the lake, taking the metal out of him. But then it's Mystique's eyes glowing. And I think I remember reading at the time, they just threw that in there because they thought it'd be cool, but it makes no sense.
Yeah, it's kind of confusing.
So, yeah, I thought like maybe she made sure that he stayed on the same path that like maybe she told
I don't know. I mean, it was clear that it was just supposed to be that's how he gets in Weapon X.
Yeah.
But now it's like Mystique did it for some reason.
Yeah.
I know her and Stryker like know each other in the next one, but I forget if they explained like what that whole deal was.
I'm gonna have to go home and watch Apocalypse now.
But yeah, and then so all the X-Men are back to life now, and they all live happily ever after until Professor X kills them before the events of Logan.
Yeah, do you think that Professor X has any idea that in like 20 years he's going to be pooping himself in the back of a limousine?
Probably not. Probably not.
Right.
It was nice that they brought all the actors back and they didn't do one more movie before they killed them all off screen. Rogue Cut has a mid-credit sequence.
Oh.
Yeah.
They put Trask in Magneto's prison, and it's him getting food slid to him, and he's got a big beard.
I do know that. Yep. I do know that one. I saw that one. I looked up the post-credit scenes because I shut off my TV and then I was like, wait, there was post-credit scenes. And
And then the post-credit scene is Egypt thousands of years ago.
Yeah, baby, guess who's coming to town? And it's not Santa.
Or whatever his name is, and it's Apocalypse, and everyone was like, that's going to be awesome.
They're like, whoa, look at these guys.
Yeah, they
build
really
pyramids.
fumbled that one, but
yeah.
we'll have to find another word for that one.
Negative EX words, I haven't really tapped too much into them, so that's going to be easier to name that episode.
Delightful.
Excruciating? Extremely dumb.
Yeah. It's pretty
It's
rough.
excrement.
Oh, that's a good word.
So yes, that is Days of Future Past. We did the Rogue Cut. How do you feel about it, Frank? Do you still like this movie?
Yeah, I love this movie. I actually, the first time that I saw it, it was way back in the day, by the way. But I was about to pirate it from a website. Right?
Oh.
I know. Hear me out here. Hear me out. And I was really excited to see it. And then like the first like 5 minutes started, and I was like, oh, fuck this. And I bought a ticket, went to the movies by myself, and I watched it. And that like kind of got me into going to the movies when my friends couldn't go, even by myself, which was awesome.
I go by myself all the time.
I love going to the movies by myself, but that was like one of the first times. And yeah, I really love the movie a lot. I like how they, combine the old and the new, and I mean, yeah, it's great.
I'm really glad that you remembered everything that happened at your theatrical experience. Yeah. Some people forget that they saw it with their favorite cousin, the whole thing.
You went with somebody that wasn't Tony?
I don't remember.
I think Keith was there because we reviewed it together. Anyway,
sorry, Keith.
I was in the row in front of you guys. I was like, "Hey,
you might have been. I don't know.
You're gonna forget this. I'm from the future days past.
I'm gonna rewrite the whole history."
Came back 10 years. We're going to have a good laugh soon.
And Monica said, this has been a great experience. I'll never forget it.
I'll never forget you, Frank.
Now, Monica.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Monica. Yeah. Hey, how you doing? I'm Frank.
Monica.
Yeah.
Do you remember anything we've just said the past 2 hours, and how do you feel about X-Men Days of Future Past? Do you remember that movie?
I remember the past 2 hours.
Okay.
Yes.
Don't worry.
You're like, it's a little hard because I forgot the movie because it was yesterday.
Done.
So how do you feel about it?
Shit.
I really enjoy this movie.
Yeah.
But I definitely love the Road Cup more.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I gotta watch it.
I think it works either way. But if you like those early movies, Rogue, it feels like it's missing her. Like you kind of need her, even though she's a small part. It's not like a big part.
She's a small part, but I feel like it adds more to the movie. I also feel like, and I could be making this up, knowing me with my memory, but I feel like there was more action in the road cut than there was in the theatrical cut.
I'd have to watch.
You do get another jailbreak.
Yeah,
you get a second jailbreak.
I feel like there's more fight scenes of them fighting like Sentinels and like more people die.
I think tonight.
Jesus.
I think tonight I'll watch it again, the original cut, and I'll compare it.
Are you?
I'll
watch the road cut tonight. I'll watch the road cut tonight. Then tomorrow we'll re-review it.
And Monica will be like, "Good, I've already forgotten the movie."
Hey, I watched this cool new movie last night.
My husband would be like, "Why do you keep renting the Future Past?"
Oh dear Lord.
Anyway, that's it from us. Frank, where can we find you?
You can follow me on Instagram at Frank_Volpe_. Stay up to date with everything I got going on. Films, movies, a lot of auditioning coming down the pikes, and a couple movies coming out within the next year. So stay tuned.
Nice. Monica, do you remember the name of any of your socials?
I do, surprisingly.
Yes.
It's just story in the end.
Okay.
Right, we're friends now. I'll follow.
You weren't following Monica already?
Yeah. No, I wasn't. Sorry, Monica.
You assholes. You only watch
We
episodes.
just met.
You only watch
Sorry,
episodes
Monica.
that you're in. You should all be following each other all the time.
I don't
I
even
told
watch
you.
the episodes that I'm in.
What the hell?
You should watch along on Mondays at 3, and you can comment and have fun.
You're
with all
never in the
things.
chat, you jerk.
The one time I did show up in one of your chats, and you're like, "What are you doing here?"
You're like, holy shit, Monica, what are you doing? I'm hanging out with my
Okay,
friends.
whatever.
I was probably joking. You might have forgotten. You've only known me my entire life. I like to make jokes. I don't know if you know this.
Shit, I'm sorry to hear that, Monica. Entire life? Oh, that's
Yeah.
Jesus.
If you want to hear a story of me and Monica's first fight, on this
Gonna
chat,
bring this up.
on this channel, I put the first episode of our bonus show, Bloodline, a Hellraiser show. I put it up for free last year as a sample, and in that video, I share evidence that Monica started the beef with me. You have to watch that episode to find out what it is. The horrible thing she did to me as a child.
Damn, what a cliffhanger.
I'll
Basically,
never.
what, like, knocked you off a toy car?
You stole. No, shut up. No, they have to watch. They have to watch to find out.
Cut this part out, okay?
Go watch the Hellraiser episode to find out how Monica wronged me.
All right, so I went back in time to the wrong time.
I have to go back to that moment.
Should have went back to that moment, not this review. Fuck.
All right, that's it. Goodbye.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos and Patreon page.